please remember to leave a like, a comment, share the video about, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Thank you. Well, isn't this just fantastic? Hello everyone, I hope you're well today. This video is a complete compilation of the BOOGIE2988 cancer fake story, or fake cancer story I guess is the more accurate way of saying it. Yes, as you can tell I'm really on point. This story is a rather irritating one. It's an irritating one because you can't tell half the time whether Boogie is being real or if it comes across as what is often dubbed scripted, because the over-exaggeration on his part has muddied the waters of what once was satire in the form of a character like Francis and what is the real, well, him, Cancer2988. This all began just after he'd been called out for a fake cryptocurrency, a scam essentially, where he got paid 10 grand to promote something called Faddy Coin. So the videos will be played in turn, and I'll remove the unnecessary parts to complete the story, including the punishments. But I should point out there were others that happened after, but the story did die down, instead focusing on afterwards Wing's relationship to somebody, but to be honest that's a separate thing and I don't care enough about it. So do sit back and, air quote, enjoy. Thank you. On a recent episode of LOLCOW Live, we got some rather interesting information concerning a lie being told by Boogie2988, thusly dubbed, going forward, Cancer2988. In fact, you should change your channel name to that. I think it's a great idea. In the more recent videos we've done covering you, you have discussed your illnesses, your lack of health, your deteriorating health, where things are going wrong and how you are not going to do anything to improve it. On a recent episode of LOLCOW Live, you got called out for something, and we have some clips that were shared about. I'm going to go through some tweets and those clips so you can see why there is literally no sympathy left for Cancer2988. Muta appears that according to Boogie's most recent stream, at the point this was tweeted, ongoing, the man has lied about having cancer for sympathy. Samuel. Boogie got destroyed by Destiny on stream for allegedly faking having cancer. I'll reread the first part. Cancer2988 got destroyed. Cancer wouldn't show Keemstar or anyone any form of medical records and would rather news accounts state that he faked having cancer than share any information. Honestly, a brutal watch. Now, Destiny was doing a stream, I think, on Kick. We do have a part of that, because he joined a Discord call and then this, which is where it got really interesting. Destiny had done a bit of digging on this. We're going to go to the video though from Samuel first about Cancer2988, and then we're going to continue with the tweets and obviously more clips.
Cancer. I would rather Dexerto lead Boogie lies about cancer than to hand this over to you pieces. That's just. This? I'd rather do that. I'd rather do that. Go ahead, print it, Dexerto. Go ahead and print it.
Can you get your patient portal up on your phone and like send it to Tommy?
I'm not going to. Sure,
he's never doing that. He does not have a cancer diagnosis. There's 0% chance he has one.
And you won't prove it? No. You won't prove it?
Now, the audience had tried to raise money, tens of thousands, for Boogie to prove it, and he refused. Now, don't forget here, he did a $10,000 crypto scam last week. This week, he was offered close to 5 times that, and he still said no. Even if it was proven false, he would have got 50 grand out of it. As if his career couldn't get any lower, it's unlikely at this point he's going to bring it back up. Once you start lying about your health, you justify the hatred, the vitriol, the anger you receive. Metica is a great example of that. We played a clip of his absolute rage, and rightfully so. This guy, Metica, is renowned for laughing at things. This is where he drew the line because of what it's doing to him. Boogie's just lied, and he's not going to prove anything.
Rather, you go ahead and print it.
If this is true, and you lied about cancer, this is the biggest scandal on the internet.
And it's not, but go ahead and print it anyway. Go ahead and print it anyway.
It's going on.
I pretty much prove it. None of you
Fucking
I said this
prove
2
it.
years ago, and I'm not doing it today. Go right ahead. Print it. Print it the way it is. Go right ahead. I'm okay with it.
I don't know why this is the hill that Boogie has chosen to stand and fight on, as it were. I really don't. But he has, and he's committed to it. And I'm not entirely sure what the logic could be argued to be either.
Okay, so I guess just to wrap up, because we don't want to take all your guys' time tonight, there just is a couple things, right? So the story as laid out, if you look up secondary polycythemia versus polycythemia vera, all of the leading things that Boogie talks about leading to his condition are consistent with secondary polycythemia, not the mutation that would cause polycythemia vera. The things that Boogie says that his doctor wants him to check for afterwards, like doing a sleep study, are consistent with secondary polycythemia, not primary polycythemia. And the fact that he says, the fact that he says that he had the blood markers or something to confirm it 2 years ago, but is now getting a biopsy for secondary confirmation, even though he says he doesn't have the money for medical bills, but I guess now that he does have money, he's going to waste all of it on biopsying things that are already confirmed, or at least confirmed enough that he wanted to talk about it publicly for 2 years ago, and then use it to fundraise the money that he now has so that he can do the biopsy that I don't think he's doing, by the way. I don't think he's actually doing that.
I'm going to apologize for the length of that clip, but I didn't feel it right to interrupt Destiny proving the point of the distinction between two separate conditions, where Boogie is wasting money proving the first, yet he has more likely got the second. Or is it the second and the first? The less severe. Let's go with that. Okay? Context is key, and I firmly believe in that. Destiny's done a fantastic job in this instance of proving a point about how disingenuous and intellectually challenged Boogie has been with this. Wasting money when it came to his health, at the expense of his health. Boogie falls in line with some of the dainty queens we've covered before. The only thing missing is a failed Ozempic journey.
So Destiny, to summarize...
If you wanted to disprove it, all he has to do is show a private party this particular medical thing, and it would be...
To summarize, Destiny, you're basically saying he's kind of unlucky he doesn't have cancer.
I mean, for this particular case, yeah. If you want, I'll do this.
In there, you might have heard Boogie say he's not going to share his medical records. No one's asking for him to share all his medical records. Just the part about cancer. Because this has now become a public discussion. His reputation is in a rather precarious position. Can it sink further? Of course it can. But Destiny has managed to prove, with what is publicly known, that your diagnosis is not what you've claimed it to be. And that's a point. Which is why Tommy is also quite right to mock you in the way he has.
If Boogie can confirm, that he has polycythemia vera, and he actually has like a doctor confirmation of the blood cancer, I'll throw $5,000 towards his medical treatment. I'll make that personal pledge right now.
No,
Hey, you need the money!
You're not seeing my medical records for 20, not for 50. You're not seeing my medical records.
$5,000.
$1 Million Man once said, everybody has a price. According to Cancer2988, that is not the case when it comes to one's medical records. Destiny highlighting one issue that you could easily debunk. You wouldn't have to show all your records, just that part alone. A doctor's note also would suffice. Cancer2988 though has gone, no, I don't have a price for this. This is private, which leads me to believe that Cancer2988 is lying about something else. Because that is the one takeaway I immediately got from it.
I said this year ago.
Okay, so I just want people to remember in the future then, when Boogie says, I have to do XYZ scam to raise money because my medical bills are hurting so much, he can speak publicly about his medical issues to scam his fans to raise money, but he can't take $5,000 to privately confirm a diagnosis that he already publicly said he has. Doesn't make any sense, but
even I have a limit. Even I have a limit.
What's the limit, though?
I do believe there is a limit, 100%. In the context of what you've been doing for the past 5 years, accruing debt because you blew your money, selling your stuff because, limit, sharing far too much with your audience to get more out of them, I'm inclined to believe that your limit is in a state of flux, and I fully expect you in the future to pucker your anus and show it to the world on OnlyFans as a form of content to raise additional funds. And then show everyone that one little medical record privately, so perhaps not everyone, so that Cancer2988 can have the full restoration of reputation and be called Boogie2988 once more.
It's a bad...
I understand that he, there's a big history of people, I guess, scamming people with cancer, and it's like the worst of the worst. Sure. And you're getting confronted with that right now when your response to that is,
Go ahead.
I'm not going ahead. I'm just. I'm explaining to you.
Go right the fuck ahead. I don't.
I'm not. I'm not going ahead with
He's
anything.
trying to. He's speaking to you.
No,
very
I'm saying
politely.
run with the story. I don't care.
Why.
Part of me thinks the reason Boogie's saying run with the story is because that drums up additional interest in him, which in turn is free promotion for all that he does on social media. My concern is you risk, because of what you're doing, and you're too ignorant to understand this concept, you risk poisoning the well to others who themselves do fundraisers for those who have or are going through or recovering from cancer. You don't seem to think about that because it's always about you. And I understand that, but in this, something has shifted and people are questioning. If you want to debunk it, there is an easy way of doing it. There really is. And it even came with a price tag, tens of thousands of dollars, and you still hold a principled position, which in this instance can be argued to be less principled and more, this is the only thing I have private anymore and I want to keep it private. Is that because you sold your magic cards? We're going to carry on with the tweets because it leads to more clips. Muta, this Boogie story physically disgusts me. For the first time in a while, the internet has really shut me down for a minute. Nick Diorio, Boogie just said it's possible that his doctor lied about the cancer diagnosis for clout.
Next time you see your doctor, you just come out and say, do I have cancer? And he says, well, no, it could turn into cancer.
I guess that's possible, but I guess that's possible.
You're saying that's possible. A person that knows they have cancer would be like, no, that is not possible at all. I have cancer.
Well, I'm saying I do have cancer and know it is very unlikely, but I guess it's possible my doctor could be a quack. I guess it's possible he's been lying to me for clout. I guess it's possible that he's been giving me
I don't think he's lying to you, Boogie.
I don't need.
Drama alert. Fake cancer patient deactivates social media. After Destiny exposed YouTuber Cancer2988 for allegedly faking cancer, Cancer is in the process of deactivating his social media. This would include his Twitter and his YouTube account. So he would rather, in this instance, deactivate his source of income than share something privately where he would make some money in the process. Now, I understand, again, how vitally important it is to maintain your medical records as private. When you've scammed your audience, though, this becomes a bit of a grey area, personally. I think it's vitally important to share, when it comes to fundraising, key parts of that information rather than just stating it and having people expect to believe that. Nick Diorio, it's so over. Included is a clip where Metica features. I mentioned Metica earlier, didn't I? He's not a happy chappy.
Here's the thing, because I did a stream, because I had people saying, oh, you're faking cancer, Jim. So I showed my diagnoses and stuff like that. I'm going to guess he's working on a system similar to Epic, which most medical people do. You should be able to go right into diagnoses, and it's going to list everything that a doctor has ever said you had.
Yep, I just read it to him.
Okay, and so it lists the cancer there?
Yes.
Okay, so you could screen cap that and just show it. I mean, that's what I did, and then that would be the end of it.
Absolutely. And I made the decision 2 years ago that I would not do that, and I would rather leave the internet than to give the last shred of privacy I have left.
Considering your options away from the internet and the knowledge that you have very little in the way of income, your rewatchability has diminished significantly, I don't think you can hack it away from the internet because you don't have much to offer the workplace right now. Your best chance is LOLCOW Live. Your best chance is to keep making content and hope that you go through another rise. Because we don't know, owing to the nature of YouTube, if it is possible for someone like you to make a comeback, to be what you once were. Jim was very honest about this and shared everything. No one's questioning Jim on this one, but they are questioning you because of your stance being privacy in this one area. Yet you have shared all your diagnoses verbally anyway. Why is it so difficult for one screen cap to be shared privately with Destiny?
Well, no, and here's the thing. I understand the privacy argument.
I should have never went public with it.
No. Let me finish. I mean, you can redact information. There's no issue with that. But just show. I mean, it literally is just a page that says patient diagnoses.
Yep.
And then it lists what you have. It doesn't tell you who the doctor is. It doesn't tell you what hospital you go to. It literally just says the disease name.
And I won't be doing that.
I'm going to have to agree with Metica here in this instance, in the context of Boogie, when he said the following.
But I don't understand why not.
And I agree with this because, again, you've shared so much. To now prove something, it seems important when you are taking money from your audience. You have taken money from your audience. You've taken it while using it, the cancer that is Cancer2988, to drum that additional finance up, especially when you've cried about the medical costs on social media, some of which we've covered on this channel in recent videos.
Because he doesn't have cancer. He doesn't have cancer.
Yeah, that's going to be the narrative they'll go with. So that's the
well, no, I mean, I'm legit trying to give you the benefit of the doubt. When I shit on you for the crypto thing, man, I said I'd take your word that you had cancer. I'd take your word that the medical shit's expensive.
Yep.
So I mean, this seems like
I spent 2 years treating a disease that doesn't exist. These people used to be my friends, and I genuinely would have never believed that it would even come to this.
I can promise you some of the mental gymnastics employed are only going to get better soon when we get to it. For now, we're going to continue with tweets. The quartering, Boogie, Cancer2988, faked cancer for clout apparently, and when caught, deactivated all social media. Thinking Monk uploaded 17 minutes 15-second clip with Destiny ambushes Cancer2988 in a video call with Keemstar and debunks his diagnoses. Now, of course, in this video we do not have the time to go through all of that, but I will link it down below if you're interested in watching. It is vitally important for context. Jessica Pizzle, I would drop all my lab results for $25,000. To be honest, I would too. And I've only got ones for a thrombosis. I had ultrasound and some blood tests, and that was from like 4 years ago. I didn't have a thrombosis. No, I just had a really sore leg. Nick Diorio, Boogie tried to pivot off the cancer stuff. So Cancer tried to pivot off the cancer to say he pinned down in the XGF and what he wants to confess. Remember how I mentioned mental gymnastics earlier? This is part of it.
I told one of these guys this in private. I'm not entirely certain. My very first girlfriend was physically me. And so as part of my childhood, when we were 16, 17 years old, because she would hit me and stuff, I ended up holding her down. I ended up pinning her against the wall to make her stop hurting me and hurting herself. And I've carried tremendous guilt about it for my entire life. And I know as soon as I ever said that, it would mean that people would think I beat women. And so I've held it in.
I literally don't care. Nobody cares about that right now.
Thank you.
This is a deflection tactic to try and explain how we've all had struggles in our lifetime. Something which I fully, again, I understand why when one is desperate, they will resort to reach. They'll resort to deflection, projection, or to mitigate consequence. You are offered up to $50,000. Some people did offer that, by the way. They were trying to crowdfund it to get that kind of money just so you'd show one page of a diagnosis and that's it. And you said no, yet you scammed your audience, or tried to the tune of $10,000 last week for some crypto nonsense. But the wealthy crypto bros are happy to lose the money for the lols. Continuing with the tweets. Colossal. Cancer Pig, after being exposed for lying about having cancer for 2 years and using it to promote a scam, decides to get naked on a live stream as a last resort. And this is not a joke, it happened. Yes, of course, I've blurred it out because I don't think you need to see that. Tipster, if you're willing to lie to your audience about having cancer for sympathy and money, you are a garbage person, period. While we can mock Tipster for many things, in this instance, he is right to say it, although I could have sworn he had walked away from drama. Keemstar, I just got off the phone with Boogie. Sorry, Cancer2988. No need for wellness checks. I can't say too much without leaking private information, but I will say that he has agreed to do a test for cancer at some point in the future that will be available to the public. Matt Jarbo underneath, at some point in the future, quoted, right now he's Googling cancer diagnosis documents. I wouldn't be surprised if they're printed out. Keemstar, in my 15 years on YouTube, I can't think of one popular YouTuber that's lied about having cancer. This is a new low. I don't know much about those who have faked it myself. This is one of the first times I've come across it, but I do vaguely remember hearing some names in the past. I just don't want to say them in case I get accused of being, a liar. I think Shani for Christ might be one. Keemstar also later tweeted a video out, kicking Cancer2988 from LOLCOW Live.
I'm starting to see like a little campaign growing on Twitter for me to kick Boogie2988 off of LOLCOW Live show because allegedly he faked having cancer. I'm not going to kick him off the show. His punishment is being on the show where he can be confronted and held accountable for the shit he does. And we've been doing this since day one. In fact, this wouldn't even be happening right now if he wasn't on the show and being confronted with this. So yeah, his punishment is staying on the show. He can say that he's quitting the internet all he wants, but I will get him back on that show and we will confront him further.
Muta, Boogie when asked to prove his cancer diagnosis.
I have no knowledge of any of this. This is so bizarre.
In many instances, I like to take a very firm stance of innocent until proven guilty. The problem that Boogie, or Cancer2988, has here is Destiny has managed to spend a considerable amount of time debunking the claims from Boogie that would lend credence to the belief that his version of cancer he claims to have is not what he says it is. If there is a chance that Boogie can prove that he has, without compromising on his values, then I highly recommend he consider doing it. His reputation right now has been well and truly turned to dust. He has been all but castrated and is left a verifiable LOLCOW eunuch because he refuses to budge on one thing that doesn't actually mean as much as he thinks it does, because he doesn't have to show all his medical records, just the one part that matters most. I fully understand the importance of integrity, but over the past 6 years, Boogie has shown he has no integrity. So why this one thing matters so much is baffling to me, but it does lend to the belief that perhaps he is not telling the complete truth. In the more recent video I did on Boogie, he had he'd gotten into an argument with a few people, more notably Destiny. Destiny then looked at a diagnosis that he claimed he was being treated for and pointed out that it was unlikely, based on what we knew of the type of condition Boogie said he had, that he had it. So, tens of thousands of dollars was offered up for him to simply take a screenshot, Boogie that is, of his medical record. Now, not the entire thing, just the part that showed, and he could have done this privately with Destiny, who's going through his own little thing right now, so whether or not it is a valid source, he may well need to keep the money, you never know. Simply show it to Destiny, maybe Keemstar and a couple others, just to verify the diagnosis of Cancer2988 having a form of cancer, which was the entire motivation, apparently, for why he accepted $10,000 to promote a crypto scam, because it wouldn't hurt the oikari and the plebeian, it would only be something for the crypto bros to have their fun with, to throw their money at. This has all backfired magnificently for Boogie, which was the point of the last video, to show he refused to show this one thing. He's shown everything else. In fact, he's stripped naked in that stream. He's willing to show you every nook and cranny of his body, but he's unwilling to show you a few lines of text, deeming this to be forbidden. An unusual hill to choose to reside on, but a hill nonetheless. Boogie then went on to deactivate his Twitter and then shut down his YouTube, because that's what you want to do. Make sure you have no passive income whatsoever. Keemstar spent 4 days trying to get Boogie to come onto LOLCOW Live to discuss this. And last night, Monday the 15th of July 2024, Boogie resurfaced. I was watching this live for a bit before I fell asleep. I fell asleep because Boogie didn't turn up for a while. He was making a fashionably late entrance. But we have some clips. Just before we get to those clips though, I do need to catch you up on a few things. Firstly, the biological brother of Boogie, or Cancer2988, has said to those trolling my brother, I can confirm his diagnosis of polycythemia vera is absolutely true. He has suffered with this debilitating condition for at least 2 years. I stake my reputation as a health professional on this fact. Reply from Ranting Monkey, not a medical doctor. It should be noted the brother of Boogie has been community noted, with someone pointing out, not a medical doctor, a professor with a doctorate degree. And in this instance, their doctorate degree focused mainly on identifying the effects of social inequities on maternal and child health. That is not the same. Muta, I'm thankful Boogie's cancer hasn't turned to leukemia. Now his fans don't have to worry or financially support him over it. Image, Boogie, I learned already, do that, huh? The cancer is effing expensive. I'm at the beginning stages and I still can't afford it. When this inevitably turns to leukemia, I will be utterly effed. I learned already, do that. Drama alert. Cancer2988 getting confronted over faking cancer, allegedly, by CoffeeZilla is way too funny. There's a clip for this, and it is quite funny to hear his rage. In CoffeeZilla's full video on this, Boogie tries to use idioms and turns of phrases that don't make sense to drive home his point, to try and make things seem like he's up shit creek, as it were. Yeah. Here's the clip, though, from the tweet.
Wait. That's on June 28th. That's on June 28th. You showed me a payment for $550 on June 28th, which is after we talked, after you told me the money was all gone.
Yes! Have you never heard of the colloquialism? Yeah, that money's all gone, it's all spent. I have a specific thing I need to do with it. Have you never heard that colloquialism? Use fucking Google then! It's very common!
One of the main reasons for that phone call even happening was because CoffeeZilla wanted to make sure the numbers added up. What he did manage to prove was that of the money he had received, Boogie that is, not only did he not really need the money in the first place, but he had squirreled the rest away. Continuing with tweets before we get to some of the clips. Drama alert. The intern running YouTube's X account is about to get fired. Did YouTube just subtweet Boogie? Included is an image of Boogie and YouTube's tweet, "What's the most cancer thing your cancer friend has ever done?" Now, I do believe that's related to a star sign thing, but at the same time, they did delete the tweet, and it is quite an amusing one to put out. Nick Diorio. Was the troll just Boogie telling them he has cancer and that he needs money for the treatment? Latest from Boogie. Francis trolls fans at Southeast Game Exchange. It's a video on his channel, and his comments, along with the like to dislike, well, people aren't really on his side, which I'll admit had me chuckle. Now, yesterday, quite late, Keemstar had tweeted, "Boogie finally admits he lied. LOLCOW Live is live in 15 minutes, 1,600 people waiting." It was closer to 6,000 actually. That was just an earlier screenshot. When it was members only, it got opened up after a while. And oh, it got active. Now that show is close to 3 hours long, has over 119,000 views at time of recording. And to be honest, the viewership on that has kind of invigorated the channel a bit. Yeah, the most recent live streams on that channel are actually concerning Boogie faking the cancer, both of which got over 100,000 views. In fact, all the drama concerning this is doing Boogs no favours, but doing the channel a lot of favours. Obviously, I can't sit here and go through all of this when he finally bothers to arrive, but we can go through some clips that were shared about.
So high. We could probably get him the
So Vera's not on there. Vera's not on the portal.
I don't know, man.
It's not.
I can send you a bunch of stuff.
You said 4 days ago you were looking at it.
Yeah, 4 days ago you said you were looking at it.
Like
So
I
it's,
told you,
it's
I
not
spent
on
the
there.
last, like I told you, I spent the last 2 years getting treated for it. I've been told by my doctor for the last 2 years.
It's fine,
this is
Boogie.
fake.
Just admit it's not on the portal.
It's not on there. I told you this.
Okay,
I told
thank
I have
you.
to do the
To get that statement alone was very much like trying to draw blood from a stone. Now imagine for a moment, you've told a lie, you know it's going to backfire magnificently for you, it's more than likely going to cost you. But you have a chance quickly to take a rather sizable amount of money that could in fact benefit you while you seek to find alternative employment. Because the internet is busy laughing at you, and we are laughing at you. We're also calling you a crappy human being for lying about cancer. Would you take the money knowing you've lied, or would you try and find a way out of it knowing there is no way out of it? Since the rules have been set, the options were non-existent. Show and tell or don't show and tell. And in this, by the way, Boogie still hasn't shown and told us anything. We'll get to that in a moment as well, won't we?
That was a joke.
All right, cool.
Boogie.
Oh, how
Yeah,
about
like-
here's another one. Here's
Boogie,
another one where you got
Boogie.
busted.
Hold on. Stop. Listen to what I'm saying.
What?
Don't send me videos of kids dying to play on fucking stream. Like,
Yeah,
come on.
Jesus.
That's fair.
Come on,
That's
bro.
fair.
What are you doing?
Well, this is just Andrew Tate setting and reading some of his DMs.
What Boogie tried to do to limit and mitigate the damage done to his reputation was to seek to cause harm to Destiny's, or use Destiny's, let's say, controversial nature, I'm going to go with that, as a way to draw attention away from himself. Being that he is a creator that is used to being center of attention, this seems a bit ironic. It also fell flat because Keemstar was never going to show the videos of unalived children on the live show, because he knew damn well you get a community guidelines strike and you lose all the revenue this stream will have generated, and it got a lot of super chats. I don't know why Boogie would be so careless, but bit of a cliche at this point. He is quite embarrassing when it comes to these kinds of subject matters, and he doesn't know how to handle this kind of situation where he has created a problem and never considered what would happen when he got busted. Keemstar tweeted, Boogie is an idiot. Can't help but have pity for such an idiot. Many do not agree with this stance. Chris the Nazi Narc. Boogie. Destiny's a LOLCOW. He supports Israel and his wife left him for an Arab, so that's why he does not support Gaza. That is a quote. Oh no. Oh no, oh no. That's not a good one. That's not a good one. Boogie admitted in front of 15,000 people. The numbers went up. Keemstar, some ordinary gamers and wings, that his diagnosis isn't on his medical portal. Now, I've shown you that clip already, but I wanted to highlight the fact that there were even more people in that chat as time went by. Boogie went on to put out a statement. It's quite a lengthy one on his Twitter. I thought what I'd do, since this was after the show, I would read that to you before we go back to a few more clips, because yes, I have one that must be played. According to the internet, I lied about cancer. However, for the last 2 years, I've been treating the symptoms of that cancer, blood tests, medication, and so much more. We still have one test left to do to verify which cancer it is. For now, we have been treating the polycythemia vera, which is the cancer they told me that I have. My brother has seen it in my medical charts. My girlfriend and best friend have been present when the doctor spoke of it. We are now doing more tests to confirm the polycythemia vera or determine if there is a second cancer present. We are starting with a colonoscopy, oh no, to see if there is a cancer present there, as I've shown signs that prostate cancer is present. I was panicked when my doctor told me I had cancer 2 years ago, and when I was in a vulnerable state, I shared that long before I should have. It was a stupid thing to do. I should have never jumped the gun like that. I have never done a GoFundMe. I've never asked my audience for money to treat this cancer. I never have and never will. Just before we continue, there are some points here. I'm starting to believe your girlfriend is less a girlfriend and more a caregiver at this point. Your brother seeing it means sod all to us because we don't know your brother. You acting and telling the internet isn't surprising since you told us everything about everything when you had your medical surgeries for fat reduction. That, bariatric, is that what it's called? Yes. When you went on your weight loss journey for a time and then broke it. When you shared far too much after your previous relationship breakup on the H3 podcast. Yes, I remember that episode. I'm glad you've never done a GoFundMe, because if you did one now, people would be asking you to give them money instead, because you conned them. Continuing. In fact, in my years as a YouTuber, I've donated and helped raise tens of thousands of dollars to St. Jude's Cancer Research Hospital to help people suffering with cancer. No one cares. You lied. What you've done that is good does not mitigate or limit you doing bad. My father died of cancer. My best friend from childhood died of cancer. My friend John, Total Biscuit, died of cancer. Cancer is not something I would ever lie about. But I should have waited for the final test to be done and not just repeated what my doctor had to say that day. So you did lie then, because without the information confirming it, that is exactly what it is. You may now be proven to be true. Of course, I don't wish that on you. I would never wish it on you. But up until this point, that is exactly what it is. It is a lie. I'm sorry that I ever spoke of it, and moving forward, no matter what happens, I will not speak of it publicly. I consider this a closed matter, and now will make sure it remains a private battle that I shared only with my closest loved ones. So the internet, then. I'm sorry for those hurt or offended by either the rumours that have floated around or by my actions when I spoke too early about my cancer. Of all the mistakes and F-ups I've ever made in this life, this was the one that will haunt me to the bitter end, as it should. I am genuinely sorry. Reply from Jessica Pizzle, go away. Oh, and Nick Diorio, 6 days ago, by the way, I've never done a GoFundMe. I've never asked my audience for money to treat this cancer, never will. Okay. And so I heard Penguin said to start a GoFundMe if I need help with medical stuff. I've heard that a lot. What do you think? Should I seriously consider it? Apparently, nah, just die was winning that one. And there was time to go as well. There were 7,000 votes. Impressive. Let's continue with Boogie, though, with another clip where he calls out Destiny and says why he'll never show his medical records.
Yeah, Destiny's
just a drama tuber.
Destiny's a LOLCOW. I've looked into that guy over the last couple of days, and whether it's him defending in jail, whether it's him laughing at the murder of a fireman, whether it's him backing Israel, whether it's him saying he's in favor of And I have all these receipts, by the way. Oh, by the way, hold on. You know, if we're going to talk about
Boogie, I'm sorry. I could take you as seriously as I could take a Destiny right now on the LOLCOW thing.
That's right.
Oh, no. Destiny's take is he backs Israel and not Palestine?
Yeah, you know why? Yeah. Because his wife left him for I'm thinking an Arab man?
While there was much in the way of discussion concerning Destiny, I'm going to leave that to my friend Cog, because as far as I'm concerned, Destiny is a separate entity. Destiny had offered you quite a large sum of money to show a medical record. You are deflecting in this, and we do now have the quote that I earlier referenced from Twitter. It's an interesting quote, and it certainly does open up the opportunity to discuss further Destiny and Destiny's motivations. But I'm only really interested in you. So to me, this is a complete waste of time. And I agree with Tommy. A LOLCOW talking about a LOLCOW? Can't really take him seriously, can you? Credibility shot.
So for those of you who don't know, Joe Rogan said Destiny reads Wikipedia and then acts like an expert. That's what he said.
That's what he did with the COVID.
That's exactly what he did on our show.
He did the same thing. He just read the thing. But that's not why he got you.
No, but
how he got you was the money.
My medical records, and I'm never going to show my medical records. Okay. By the way, I don't believe he was going to give me $5,000 because here's the thing. I restored my Twitter today for one reason and one reason only. Because you can search how many times I've said on Twitter, how many times I've said on the show, you'll never see my medical records. You'll never get them. You'll never get them. You'll never get them. And I sent something to Keemstar that night. He was just going to move the goalpost, by the way.
For this to make sense, Boogie sent Keem a tweet with Joe Rogan lambasting Destiny because Destiny cited Wikipedia and acted like an expert. In this instance, that's not what Destiny did to Boogie. So against the shifting of the goalpost, what Destiny did was point out the money issue. And then he went and looked into what you claimed you had. That's a very important bit of context. And Tommy's right to point this out as well. Boogie claims that he's only activated his Twitter now because, slam dunk, clips, Destiny, blah blah blah. That's the only reason. I'll be honest, he reactivated it because he needs it. No offense to you, Boogie, but you have lied. Even if you now prove you have cancer, you at this point do not have it on the medical record, and you lied about the money side of things. You lied. That is what you are, Cancer2988. There is not going to be much in the way of sympathy from many a person if you are found to have it. But we are going to feel sorry for the person who has to stick the doodah up your ass for a colonoscopy.
Destiny's not a doctor. You know who is a doctor? My doctor. He's the one prescribing me all these medications I'm paying for, most of which are only because I've been suffering from polycythemia for the last 2 years. You know who else is a doctor?
You know who is a doctor? My doctor.
Yeah. You know who else is a doctor? Not Destiny, my brother.
Your brother is a doctor, PhD, not MD. He's an academic, not a medical doctor. He may work within the health field, but it does not make him an expert. You're trying to claim that by Destiny doing some digging, he is using an appeal to authority, but you have just used it with your brother. These fallacies don't resonate with audiences because we see through that. It's why Keemstar's laughing at you for your little comparison to a doctor, and then to cite your brother.
So when I got diagnosed with sleep apnea,
he's not an MD, and he's your brother.
It doesn't matter that he's an MD.
He has a doctorate
in public health.
Your brother loves you and is a biased. Your brother loves you and is a biased narrator.
I don't know how many times in one video I can say Tommy C is right before it starts to annoy me, but Tommy is right. Your brother is a PhD. He has a bias. So to be honest, you using your brother as an authoritative voice has no merit. Don't forget here now, the core problem isn't whether you have it, it's that you've lied about it for 2 years because you reacted and then ran with it, and you used it to promote money things. Yeah, shitty, right? Over the past 3 days, we have been waiting to see what would happen as a consequence of Boogie deciding to finally come clean. Cancer deciding to finally come clean. That seems strange to say. With regards to Cancer2988's cancer diagnosis. Whereas you will all undoubtedly know he has admitted, Cancer2988 that is, it is not on his medical record, his portal, that he has the diagnosis for the type of cancer he was being treated for, which seems a bit strange to take medication for something you're not diagnosed with. I fully understand jumping the gun and getting ahead of things, but let's face it, he made a video on it. He said he had it. This is a vital distinction. because even if he now manages to prove that he has it, it means nothing, because for 2 years he has been feeding his audience, supporters, diminishing as they are, the diagnosis and the changes to his life and the behaviours that have gone with a guy who has conceded defeat on life, indicating he's gone through the 5 stages of grief and is now solely at the end game. As a member of the LOLCOW Live podcast, he has limited responsibility, but a responsibility to be a LOLCOW, something which he has done reasonably well at, especially when he has become centre of attention for being a lying, manipulative, cheating LOLCOW. It's quite impressive, really, isn't it? And there are certainly 2 arguments you can make convincingly as to whether or not he should remain a member of the LOLCOW Live podcast, which we'll get to later. I will, if you're interested, link previous videos I've done on this down below. I think it's 4 so far. We're going to carry on with the story to lead up to the consequence, because we knew one was coming. Keemstar had to accept there was very little in the way he could, as an option, explore. So it was a case of either he doesn't fire Boogie and gets a mountain of negativity, or he fires Boogie and gets reasonable negativity, but nowhere near as volatile. And there's a reason for that. So continuing the story, Keemstar, I just called Boogie and we were talking about future cancer tests. He said to me, I can't believe I'm praying I have cancer. I physically fell to the floor laughing. It was hard to even tweet this out because I keep laughing out loud. LOLCOW Live. LOLCOW? LOLCOW Live. May have to fire Boogie. Faking cancer is horrendous. But this issue is way more complex than just the tagline, he faked cancer. In full context, it's more mental illness than evil. This is a tough call, but I will make my decision next live. Keem. Dennis the Menace. This might be Deaf Noodles. Come on, Keemstar. You fired your former editor Connor for way less trifling stuff than this. All Connor did was call you a R-word, versus Boogie faking cancer to you and the internet at large, then using that fake diagnosis to scam money and pity from people off the internet. Boblax. He can't fire Boogie because Boogie is the show. If he fires him, LOLCOW ends and no more 25% revenue for him. Reply, while you are correct, surely there is somebody that can replace Boogie's spot. Muta even mentioned Review Tech USA, which would be a fair replacement. Reply, they should get Deaf Noodles. I'm not going to lie, Deaf Noodles isn't a bad shout, but his name doesn't carry as much weight as it once did. So I don't know if Deaf Noodles would be open to the idea of even exploring this as a possibility. Although, to be honest, he could bounce and mesh well with Tommy and with Wings. Realistically, though, you do need someone like Boogie on the show, because Boogie is very, very irrational, very, very impulsive, very, very reactive. But at the same time, Boogie's name now carries more negative connotations than it could be argued to be worth. And LOLCOW Live as a show could in turn be harmed significantly because of it. Keemstar's wanted to do this for years, LOLCOW Live that is. Now he has it, he has to think about what is worth better for the show. Worth more. That's what I meant to say. Worth more. LOLCOW Live. I have made my decision on whether or not to fire Boogie from LOLCOW Live. I did not come to this conclusion easy. I spoke to multiple creators, fans, close friends and family affected by cancer. I will be live with my judgment tomorrow at 8 PM Eastern. Just me, by the way, Keem. Boogie will join at some point to hear this judgment. I do not like any bit of this, but it's what must be done. Reply, really dragging this out as long as you can, aren't you? Now this is a tricky one because if he just straight up announced it, he wouldn't make as much as he could out of it. I fully understand and support that. Taking this to its natural conclusion at a reasonable pace, building up and selling it. That's what an entertainer does. I understand the real life aspect of it, but as a fellow creator, sometimes we have to do things like this regardless of the context. And based on the viewership that these are getting, yes, this is definitely what Keemstar's going to do. That was on the 17th. The decision itself was made on the 18th, when my Chantel video came out, meaning I missed out on doing this at the right time. LOLCOW Live had tweeted also on the 17th, Boogie finds out today if he is fired from LOLCOW Live for faking cancer, brackets, live. The live show itself, at time of recording on the 19th of July, has 271,000 views. The channel has gained about 5k in subs since all this drama started. No offense intended, but they really should consider doing more live shows instead of podcast episodes, because the last 3 shows have all been about Boogie and his cancer, or lack thereof, and all 3 of them have gotten hundreds of thousands of views. Over 600,000 in total. That's the kind of viewership LOLCOW Live should get for covering topics like this. And gaining all those subs is also great for the channel, especially when the podcast itself had been struggling for a little while. It really had. This is where you then have to weigh up whether it's worth keeping Boogie because his fake diagnoses, or lack of diagnosis, has really generated interest in the product, the brand of LOLCOW Live. At the same time, if you get rid of him, your viewership's going to drop off. If you keep him, there's a risk your viewership will drop off because you'll be accused of not having any integrity. Well, now this is a very difficult decision to make, isn't it? It's why options need to be explored, and of course, whether a moral standard applies is entirely subjective and based upon the individual's discretion. Oblax had tweeted an image of the LOLCOW Live decision tweet, or I've come to my decision tweet, by saying Boogie is LOLCOW Live. The show doesn't work without him. This fake shit acting like it was ever a real consideration to fire him is so cringe. So with all that in mind, we now need to get to the part of that show where it really matters. Of course, there is more to go through, but I'm going to play the first clip of the decision being made now.
You're fired. You have to be fired. You are fired. You are fired. You have to be kicked off this fucking show. This is crazy. This is so bad. And I have sympathy for you. I actually do. And I know a lot of people don't. They want you dead. But I do, because I understand how complex this is. I truly do. But this is so bad. I don't even have other words than just bad, 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 bad.
If you cannot prove what you have claimed you've had for 2 years, then Keemstar is right to say that this is bad multiple times. I know there are many creators over the years that have scammed their audiences in some way, but using a medical condition that you do not have a diagnosis for at this time is in a tier of its own. It still makes him a LOLCOW, and does mean that at this point we should be allowed to, well, quite frankly, it's open season. Think about hunting seasons, yes? Basically 365 and a quarter a year days. It's Boogie hunting season, where Nick Diorio had said that he was going to A-log everything that Tipster and Keffels did going forward in perpetuity. I think the same applies to Boogie. I'm sure there are forums with multiple pages on Boogie because of the nonsense he has put out, and now because he has no credibility in virtually anything he does, he is just this now, a LOLCOW. Eventually he'll become one begging for attention. He'll more than likely start a cameo, if he doesn't already have one. I fully expect an OnlyFans in the future, when money really does dry up.
And I know that you're not evil. I know you're just, I don't even have a better word for this. You're
that's the word. That's the word I use. So
you have to be fired. But I also think because this is so there's so much gray here. This is not a black and white situation. I mean, he may still have cancer.
He may well do. And of course, I do not wish that on anyone in any walk of life, unless you're a nonce or someone that talks in the movie theatre. I do not wish it on anyone else. Even Boogs, I don't want him to have it. I really don't. Not because I want to continue to lambast him for this, but because I don't want his health to continue to go down. That's called humanity. However, it does not exonerate him of any of the lies he's told before, because it's not on his portal. He confirmed it.
I mean, this is not black and white. It's not like you fucking ran and did like a fucking I got cancer scam and ran a GoFundMe when you never had it. Like, it's not like you did something like that. We're not talking about evil, all right?
Right.
We're talking about So I feel like even though you're fired and you're going to be gone for a while, you should have some type of pathway back.
Now, this is an interesting position, because I'm sure many will agree, many will disagree. I can certainly understand that everyone deserves a chance at redemption. The problem we have here is the person involved is somebody that on this very show is going to show that they're not so much interested in committing to redemption, but acting like an emo twink, a rather rotund emo twink. Now, that's the only clip from that particular tweet I want to show you. I want to carry on with some relevant tweets. Nick Diorio. So I had a wife, beautiful like you, who tells me I worry too much. Quote, forget the surgery, Boogie, you ought to smile more. One day she leaves and I couldn't take it. I just wanted to see her smile again. I just want her to know I miss her, so I grab a butter knife. Because in the clip he shows, yes, Boogie comes back with a butter knife and starts acting like an emo, which instantly gets him yeeted from the phone call by Keemstar. I don't know if I can get away with showing this part or not, but I'll try. I might crop it so the sharp object is not there. I should point out at this point in the show, Muta and Destiny are on the show, lambasting, chastising, critiquing Boogie, who could not handle it.
Dude, like, he was excited as he was like, he comes home, he's like, you know that episode of South Park where like fucking Cartman's like, I've got golden dick. He's like, I've got this cancer, bro. Now I can make tons of views, and I can.
Yeah. Like imagine like after Googling it, do not do anything with that knife. No,
No, he wants me to. He told me to, right? He told me to.
No.
Oh, this is so much better than eating a sandwich.
Right now.
So much better than eating a sandwich, Destiny.
Better way right now.
Piece of shit.
Ooh, edgy boil out.
Now, while that was going on the other side, Destiny was streaming as well. So Keem left the conversation, and he was right to leave the conversation. Once a sharp device is brought into this and someone starts acting like an edgy boy, you have to protect your interests, and in this, that would be LOLCOW Live and your presence online. To be honest, YouTube could act on Boogie anyway. They really could. Community guidelines are quite clear on this, especially as they've gotten more strict when it comes to items considered weapons in this day and age, current year and all that. So while Keem leaves the conversation, Muta, Destiny and Boogie continue to talk. One of the things I despise the most about Boogie in this moment is he desperately wants to add mitigating information to diminish the way he is. Okay, well with that in mind, here's the rest of the conversation from Destiny's side.
What else do you lie about? Is your real name not even Boogie?
Yeah,
I think it has to be the.
That's a nickname. Is your real name Destiny?
Only when I'm stripping.
Okay,
have fun, guys. Good luck. Except for you, Boogie. You are a manipulative, horrible human being. I hope people around you realize it. It's not about your health things, okay? Being fat, okay? That you're ugly on the inside, not on the outside. Inside, not on the outside, okay?
Go ahead and vilify somebody who just exercised their American rights. Go ahead and do that. Laugh at a dead fireman, you piece of shit.
Are you going to volunteer for your fire department anytime soon? Because if so, I might.
Laugh at a dead fireman.
Anyways,
my dad was a volunteer fireman. My dad was a volunteer fireman. Go fuck yourself.
Okay, good luck.
Didn't your dad also fucking molest you? Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Well, if you want to know specifically would you like to specifically know what my dad did? My dad got drunk because he was an alcoholic.
Sure, I guess. Why not?
And he exposed himself to me.
Okay.
And then he encouraged me to masturbate with him, which is not cool.
You need to learn when not to share. I think that might be another one of those stories you shouldn't share. Keemstar, the internet in unmatched. Meme, you shouldn't bring a knife to a fake cancer fight. Continuing with the tweets, Boogie has a special message for Jackson Clark.
I got one from Mr. Medicare that came through.
Hey, how are you?
And he says, look at the camera, Boogie, and say, Jackson Clark was right about everything, and I'm a disgusting liar, and he was true and honest. You should say that.
Okay. Jackson Clark was right about everything. He wasn't entirely, but I'll say it anyway. Jackson Clark was right about everything, and I'm a disgusting liar. What was the last part?
And everything he said was true and honest.
And everything he said he believed to be true and honest. It was pretty close to the truth. I wasn't fully diagnosed yet. I still may have it, and we are treating it, but yeah.
That reminded me an awful lot of when Mr. Metica got Monday Matt to say that he was a soy-filled bitch on air after being rumbled for being a mass flagger. Now, Matt Jarbo in this has pointed out that Boogie once claimed his blood was syrup and that the sharp pointy object was actually going to prove it. It's a fair remark. Sadly, on YouTube with their terms of service, you can't explore it. And then before someone takes that too seriously, it is literally just a joke, bruh. Thank you. Continuing with the tweets. Keemstar had said, I'll update everyone when I know more, and just talk to Boogie, he's fine. Right. This is important. Tommy C, a fellow person on LOLCOW Live, had said, as a matter of principle, I really don't like the fact that Boogie was fired from LOLCOW Live. I cannot think of a better place for someone who faked a cancer diagnosis. Let me be clear, I took no part in this decision and I had no say. That being said, I do understand that the podcast was damaged by Boogie's claims. That would get you fired from an actual job as well as an online podcast under most circumstances. I don't hate Boogie. I guess I should, but I don't. Just like your family, cancer has devastated my family as well. So please trust me when I say I understand your anger. LOLCOW Live is for F-ups. I knew that I signed up for. I knew what I signed up for. So I just can't bring myself to hate the guy. I don't know what is going to happen when I come back from vacation and I've unplugged until then. In short, I'll worry about it later. I have not even watched the stream and don't plan to until I get home. All the best. Hopefully SFTP and LOLCOW or whatever project I'm part of will give you some laughs in the future. That is what I'm in this for. That is what makes it fun for me. And I hope for you as well. Reply from Raphael Mania. Very strange how you all supposedly own a quarter of the show, but Keem has now fired 2 people that the rest of the show didn't want fired. It's either all fake or you guys are completely spineless. I think context is key when it comes to the firings. And if you want to weigh up like Def Noodles had or Dennis the Menace had the merit of individuals who were removed from the show, it's a bit trickier. Each one is context-based. As far as voices within the podcast go, that's a management structure I'm not a part of, and I can't speak on it. If Keemstar owns it, ultimately the decisions are his and his alone. Drama alert. Boogie explains his fake cancer diagnosis. This is the clip I'm going to finish with, because I think it's the most important one, just to finish this video off really. You may have noticed some of these tweets out at the wrong time, so the clips are as well. My apologies for that. Of course, we could have delved even deeper into Muta and Destiny's criticisms, but to be honest, I didn't want to give Destiny too much time on this channel. Although when he is right on something, he is right. One must admit and concede that point.
I'll make it as short and sweet as I can. I have several doctors. We took my blood test. We found elevated red blood cell counts, and then we looked for other markers. We found those markers. They determined that it was certainly polycythemia, potentially polycythemia vera, and they were going to treat me as if it was polycythemia vera. And that's what we've done for the last 2 years with the plan to always eventually get this bone marrow test. But again, I never wanted to get it done because it's stupid. It's painful. My friend Marie, I was talking to her about it last night. She said she had it done. She literally asked me not to ever get it done. She's fighting cancer herself.
Oh boy, he's done it again. He's at it again. And with his constantly lying and being caught out, having told lies, more digging deeper into his past, with claims he has made concerning how he was raised up. This has led to more questioning the validity of his existence as a human being. The more recent controversies have done him no favours, nor has a more recent interaction with members of the LOLCOW Live podcast, more notably Keemstar, where you can draw 2 very obvious conclusions from it. Either Boogie is telling the truth and is going to an extreme, or Boogie is an emo in a very large bodysuit. I'm inclined to believe the latter is more applicable, but we cannot exclude the former. People who do this kind of, and we'll get to what he's done, behaviour, are typically the type to go to that extreme because they are too reactive. Because, unironically, while building a career as someone who had seemed more rational, rationality has gone out of the window now that they have been well and truly undone and their reputation is in the dirt. If ever there was a possibility of a redemption arc for someone like Boogie2988, it went into the dirt with the reputation, was smeared and smudged and left to rot about 4 years ago. Its only chance of redemption was against Wings, and Wings jabbed its head off. So, we're going to continue from where we were last time because it seems only right to make sure we have everything up to date, leading up to and including the more recent episode of LOLCOW Live. A channel which, by the way, they can give all the credit in the world to Boogie, I guess, for, that has gained 15.7k subs in the last 30 days, thanks to Boogie2988's hard work. Can we call it hard work? Let's call it hard work, because it's amusing enough. The sub growth for this month alone may well be able to equal that of when the channel was first created. And they've been in a rut for a while, so I guess this is an opportunity. Well done, Boogie, you did some good-ish. The first thing on the agenda is that Keemstar is now the proud owner of the Stephen Williams OG play button for 1 million subscribers. I can't remember how he managed to get this. I can't remember if he purchased it or if he had managed to just get it from Boogie for being Boogie. Although I do know Boogie is in need of money, so selling it is not out of the equation entirely.
We've just agreed that that's not going to happen anymore, right?
I
Medica told me to stop doing that. Medica
No,
told
you're
me to stop doing
lying.
that.
I'm not your. Dude, I'm so sick of this manipulation. Boogie, I will say this to you. Obviously, I was trolling you. I'm not going to scam you out of your play button, and there was no intention to scam you to get the play button. I was going to sell it for charity, but then I figured, I don't want some random person having it. Maybe it's better that Muta has. That's why I said we'll talk about it behind the scenes, right? Okay. So I was just trolling you to.
I like this
to let you know that lying and manipulation's not cool, but you didn't really get that. You got really offended right away, and you didn't really get the point that I was trying to get across to you.
I will admit, seeing one of those play buttons, I'm a bit jealous. I wanted one of those. Although I will admit, I'm still very proud of the one I have. It's much smaller though. LOLCOW Live. Part of Boogie's punishment is he is banned from all social media unless he's coming on LOLCOW to be punished more. Now, as far as Boogie's presence on Twitter goes, in connection to this LOLCOW tweet, he hasn't been active since July the 16th. That punishment tweet was July 19th. July 16th, he tweeted out, according to the internet, I lied about cancer, and then went on a little rant about treatment for cancer without a diagnosis to support it. Community note, Boogie has admitted to lying about cancer. He got community noted on his pinned tweet. Nick Diorio had tweeted, EFAP, episode number 294, The Tragedy of Darth Boogie the Wide entering the 10th circle of hell. Now this is a live show that has been unlisted, and they go through, those are many guests, a whole slew of videos and documentaries covering Boogie, pointing out how cringe a lot of its content was, but it did fit in with the time it was produced at least. It is an interesting watch, and while unlisted, I'm going to put it in the pinned comment anyway. It's 6 hours long. By all means, watch at your own leisure. Now, I had thought that it would be a smart move for LOLCOW Live to, for a little while, keep Boogie away from the show so that the show could see if it could be sustainable without his presence. At the same time, if opportunity presents itself, I fully understand why you would want to take every advantage of it you possibly could. So keeping the more contentious elements on the show but not on the show would be advantageous to the channel's growth, and we know this for a fact. The channel's been growing hundreds of subs every single day. Keep this rate of growth up, and within a month or two it will have a silver play button, and I want channels to do that. Of course, longevity is key though. Boogie is a key part of that. As you will all know, he was fired last week from LOLCOW Live, but LOLCOW Live did tweet out on the 21st of July, will be live tomorrow, special guest Boogie2988. Now, I could have sworn on the show where he was fired, he was banned from drinking Mountain Dew. Apparently not. On July 22nd, LOLCOW Live replied to this by saying, a bad incident took place. Boogie will probably not be on the show tomorrow. Yes, something bad did happen. We'll get to that in a moment. Camelcast official, there has got to be a line. I get that you see the huge concurrent number and want more. Got to know the line. Boogie crossed it. Could easily get a different guest for every show. Now, I think there's a point to that, but they've got to find guests that draw numbers, create interest, and then find people whose egos aren't so big that they're willing to be on. For example, I would still love to see Darkside Phil on one of these episodes, getting ripped a new one by Wings. Hell, have them play COD against each other. I think that'd be fantastic. I kind of think Wings might beat him though, because Darkside Phil is one of the worst gamers I've ever seen in my life. The only game I've ever seen Darkside Phil win was the danger wank he had when the camera was still on. Now, LOLCOW Live on Twitter did also tweet out, last night I was forced to call the police on Boogie. I'll explain everything tonight, stream time and all that. Replies underneath, yeah, do seem to lend credence to the belief that many do not want Boogie back on the show. Others saying they spent an hour and a half on the phone with him and talking him down off the cliff, so to speak. He isn't well. Now, I want to feel sorry for Boogie. I really do. However, I do not feel sorry for somebody who lies. There is a line in the sand. As far as I'm concerned, he has told a monumental lie, been found out for it because he's acted without actually giving any kind of definitive proof to confirm it. And then when Boogie2988 is called out on that, his response is to go, right, I'm going to threaten to harm myself and do things to harm myself. His other tactic when he had the chance to speak was to talk about his upbringing, as if it's some kind of criminal proceeding and mitigating factors have to be considered before sentencing. It doesn't change you being a liar. Now, I was unable to watch the show live, but another person I know and trust did. We'll get to that in a moment, but instead I'm going to read some tweets that are relevant. Nick Diorio, I had to turn LOLCOW off. I think Boogie is one of the shittiest people on the site, but I checked out when he started to share his detailed history of those two words. I know the endgame is to prove he lied about that too, but this is just too much for me. A few years ago I thought to myself, Boogie was swatted? I believe him. Who would lie about that? A few weeks ago I thought Boogie has cancer? I believe him. Who would lie about that? Today he's discussing those words, so yeah, I do believe he would lie. I think I'm just numb to this. Nothing this guy says sounds genuine. I can't tell if this is a me problem with like confirmation bias or something. Man, I really wouldn't be surprised if I woke up tomorrow to find that his dude lied about his childhood. That word, I'm grossed out. No, I will not be streaming an ultimate that review on Boogie's dad, LMFAO. That is a strange one to stream. Clown had replied to Nick Diorio by saying the biggest lie told tonight was that Keemstar's liar face tattoo on Boogie's forehead was his idea when it was mine. This is worse than Boogie lying about cancer. I mean, it's up there with Rice Scum owing you 10 grand. Reply from Keem, that's true, you definitely gave me the idea, I should have credited you, my bad. Well, at least he gave you the credit, am I right everyone? Yes, of course I am. Muta was on stream and helped Boogies donate part of his scam to charity. Had to match what he donated and wanted to provide a receipt. I'm also 100% sure he's charging this back. Donation amount, $3,025. Also, I have no sympathy for a scammer in any capacity. This is the closest positive thing anyone can do to make a situation right. Give the blood money to the people that need it the most. I like that. St. Jude's deserve the money. Boogie talked about some effed up stuff he went through as a child. Wings in a top hat. I didn't realise we were playing Monopoly. Something I didn't expect was to see one of the dainty queens that I have covered many times on this channel, end of year reviews more notably, appear in the LOLCOW live chat. Foodie Beauty appeared. This has led many to believe that she is trying to get on the show to take his place because she's a LOLCOW. Now, of course, you may notice in the picture there's a bit of a sausage fest going on here. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not here to judge. I don't think Muta would be safe from Foodie Beauty. And I know Muta could be safe, but for as long as Foodie Beauty is anywhere near LOLCOW Live, he's definitely not safe. I would also point out if Foodie Beauty was ever on this show, the LOLCOW Live podcast, she'd be eaten alive by one person alone, and that would be Keemstar. The last tweet, to keep us up to date, biggest show yet, thanks y'all. 128,154 views, peaked at 21,265. Super chat total, 2.7k. That is an insane show. To an extent, this is a success. Where it is not, is where it concerns Boogie, to be honest. Because of what Boogie said during, what led up to, and what Keemstar had to do to protect Boogie. At this point, some have to consider whether it is the right time to simply wash your hands of those who refuse to do right by themselves. There is an ego involved in this, Boogie's that is. He is unwilling to simply accept reality and truth in favor of being angry and acting like a teenager. And in doing so, he is not just after the reaction, he's also trying to scar those by doing it in front of them. That's intentional, malicious, and quite frankly, reprehensible. Obviously this video is a bit more of a TED Talk and I can't really go through the entire near 4-hour stream to pull out the right clips for all of you. I will link it down below along with the EFAP episode. I will give you the Cliffs Notes though, just in case. Keemstar bought out Boogie's portion of the show. Wings, not overly happy about it, and they were going to talk about that off air. The newest scandal that Nick Diorio had mentioned is that Boogie may have lied about his childhood, because many of the stories he's told over the years are no longer lining up. Boogie tells Keem he will not talk about this, yet he himself has talked about it over and over again for many years. This is his medical records, take 2, Electric Boogaloo. Boogie's brother reached out to Keemstar saying he wants to debate Destiny over Boogie's cancer, which is a really strange debate to be having. especially as Boogie's brother is not a healthcare professional in the slightest. But Boogie will go to bat for his brother and say, yes, he is. He's not. He has a PhD and it's not even in the right area. Keemstar did call the cops on Boogie because Boogie went crazy with Keemstar on FaceTime. He was allegedly shoving a bottle of pills in his mouth. I have no idea what they were, and I don't know if he swallowed them. He was also pulling out his own hair. Some people do that, and that's a condition called, I believe, trichotillomania. Boogie just did it to look psychotic. Boogie also said he was going to leave this mortal coil. Keemstar was afraid, as you would be if someone does it in front of you, which is why I think that was intentionally done to scar Keemstar. Boogie kept texting Keem unalive stuff, so Keem did call the police. Keem understandably and unfairly had a panic attack over this. He ended up hanging up on Boogie because of that. Boogie then ended up saying he was going to do unalive by cop, or hit a cop and go to jail. To me, and Keem realised it much later on, Boogie was playing him. Manipulation 101. Maliciously done to try and harm anyone else, to draw attention away from you and what you've done. You are making this worse. I don't know who gave you the idea for this. If this came from you, Boogie, this idea, this is disgusting. And at this point, you deserve everything you're getting. I'm hoping now you get A-logged for the rest of your life. You, Keffels, Tipster, the Dainty Queens, any LOLCOW in fact that has a forum page. I hope you get up there with Chris Chan. Although I do fully expect you to try and find a new community to be a part of. I assume one day you'll come out as a brony. Start going to brony cons, maybe even become a friend of Chris Chan's. That might be a new hook you should consider, Boogs. Friends with Chris Chan. You can call it the Cancer and Chan podcast in the dimensional merge of whatever land we're in or going to. That one. Thank you.
Thought I was going to charge it back, and it really upset
I don't think you would do that. If you would charge it back, you'd really be fucked, Boogie. Come on, let's be real.
I know, but that's what they're saying. They're saying they're going to tell everybody that.
Oh, come on. There's no way. If you did that, we would know. We'd find out. Oh my God, quit having a panic attack.
They said they're going to tell. They said they don't believe me.
Oh my God, stop it. Get to the donos.
I'm in the middle of a severe panic attack, okay? I'm trying really hard.
Why? You did a good thing tonight. You donated to charity. Why would you have a panic attack?
And they're going to tell people I didn't. I'll just borrow the money from my roommate to cover everything. It's not a big deal.
You get to the donos yet?
I'm trying. I'm in the middle of a very severe panic attack. Okay, I'm logged into the channel.
I just realized there's going to be a scandal. If he's off the show, how does he have access to the channel? We just didn't change the passwords.
Leah something says...
Wait.
Let
me get down it! Let me get down it! I think your mic settings are wrong because we can't hear you. Even that screaming and yelling.
Scam Boogie, make him pay the $3K and mail the play button to Medicare! Leave something! Thank you for your donation!
I'm going to begin this video with a disclaimer. We're going to be talking about an individual, obviously, that recently celebrated their 50th birthday, I believe. They celebrated it by getting a tattoo. Now, on the face of it, especially if you watch the clip, which we're going to look at, don't worry, you will feel, some of you might, a small twinge of guilt towards that individual, or perhaps there is some bullying taking place. I'm going to provide a piece of context. This individual did a documentary last year where someone spent 9 months in their life talking about this person's career going down the drain. How they threw literally everything away, and they're still doing it now, but mostly out of rage and bait. They threw it away, didn't take care of their priorities, and ended up being what they are now, because the desperate version is the real version of their character. That documentary made them look timid, simple, a person that fell to the bottom and had a chance to rise up again, phoenix from the ashes and all that, right? Except in this case that phoenix apparently is another Kyle Gass. I am of course speaking of Boogie, it's on the thumbnail, along with the tattoo for that matter, who as a consequence for his lies that go over a number of years, had to do a number of things on the last episode of LOLCOW Live. After he was fired, he was back, because he brings in views that are obviously going to bring him back in a recurring guest role. That recurring role will be on a regular basis because views. With those super chats, he got quite angry. He also got angry at Wings.
Yes. Why don't you just tell the audience?
I don't want to destroy a human life. Because I don't want to destroy someone's life. Because I don't want to destroy somebody's life. Because I don't want to destroy somebody's life. Because I don't want to destroy somebody's life.
Okay.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
You just said here.
I'll destroy mine all day, and my dad is dead, and my mom is dead. I'll talk about those pieces until they f***ing rot.
Yeah, but Chad and Desi aren't dead.
And Keem.
This is why, Dan, I told you I couldn't talk about this, man.
You can do this.
This is why I told you. No, I can't. I told you I couldn't talk about this.
Boogie, you knocked this out of the park.
I begged you not to make me talk about this on the show. I begged you.
You crushed it.
I begged you. I begged you. I begged you, Dan. I begged you.
You crushed it. You did very good tonight.
I begged you.
You did. What's going on over there? You did fine. I think you broke your computer. Hello? Are you there?
During that same stream, I didn't show the parts where he tried to portray himself as more of a victim trying to protect other people, because there was no point. It was a complete lie on his part. He is being selective because he's desperately trying to cling on to something that he can hold close to himself as if it is his own. Since the only thing he hasn't put online is his penis, at this point, the only thing safe is his penis. Unless he has, and I've just not gone looking. I don't want to know if it actually is online. If it is, then you've got no secrets left, I'm afraid. Although you have told us about it on, I believe, the H3 podcast. There is a level of decency that must be addressed as well. Whereas I can understand why some might think that the episode, the more recent one, could be considered punching down, I do want you to consider that it isn't. Because when you lie about something so severe, if you're willing to stick around and take the punishment, it shows you at least have the potential of reform and a little modicum of decency. Although it could also be because you've been defeated and you're just following the leader, in this case, Keemstar, who is ensuring that Boogie does as he is told.
How's your weight doing? How's your weight doing right now?
It's down because I'm on a medication that I can no longer afford, by the way, but I lost 24 pounds on the piece of shit. But I get to cut it all back on because I don't have the fucking money.
Let's go. Guys, he lost 24 pounds. 24 pounds.
I get to cut it right back on.
Congratulations, buddy.
Why can't you afford the medication?
Because I lost my fucking job.
No, you sold your part of your job.
Yeah, you're getting money for that.
Which I need for mortgage, but I can't make YouTube videos. I can't live stream. I can't even sell my cards on whatnot anymore.
Have you tried making
I'm banned from the internet. Remember, Keem? I'm banned from the internet. You don't let me do shit. You told me I'm not allowed to do shit.
Well, the reason...
Keem will come slap you when you do that?
But listen to me. The reason why I banned you from the internet is because there has to be punishments. And if you do these punishments, I think the internet will...
The punishment's going to make sure I don't have enough money.
Let me finish what I'm saying.
Colossal is Crazy had suggested that Boogie get the word liar tattooed to his face as penance. Keemstar ran with it and did properly credit Colossal for that, eventually. And it led to yesterday's episode, which, much like all the previous episodes involving Boogie's more recent drama, has done exceedingly well on the LOLCOW Live podcast YouTube channel. The channel is now at 65.2k subs. It's going places because of this drama. At time of recording, it sits at nearly 200,000 views within the space of 10 hours. That's an impressive return. 5 streams, and we're talking well over 1 million views. For the channel, that's brilliant. It really is. What isn't brilliant, of course, is the fact that this all stems from Boogie telling a lie. Although, I'm sure Boogie's getting paid for this at least. There's that, right? Now, what I want to do is show you the video of the tattooing happening and Boogie's immediate reaction upon its completion. Because, of course, if we're telling a story here, and we have been over a number of videos now since the crypto scam of Faddy, it seems only right we continue down this path. Again, I suggest any pity you have for Boogie be put to the side, because this man had committed to telling a lie. He had committed to it for 2 years, with nothing confirming that he actually had it as a diagnosis. While I do not wish him to have it, there is still a chance he does have it. And even if he does have it, I do not want him to have it. I'd rather he have the tattoo than have cancer, because I don't want anyone to have cancer, unless you're a nonce. Or you're one of those little tosspots that speaks in the movie theater.
22,000 concurrent viewers watching Boogie get a tattoo of liar on his face for faking cancer. And all the donations Boogie will, in fact, be reading tonight.
I'm wondering how long his apology tour is going to go on for. or whether it's going to be like an episode of the Orville with the up and down vote badge. If you've seen the Orville, you know what I'm talking about. It's coincidental that I only recently saw that episode, and it seems to be right that Boogie perhaps do something like that, except without the threat of neurological correction.
Oh God.
It'll take me a while to get home, but I'll do it.
I'm anxious, Wings. I'm like super anxious.
You're anxious.
You're anxious. You're not getting a tattoo on your face.
Don't move. There you go.
Wait, that's that small?
That's what we agreed on. I don't know, man. That's pretty big in person. I could read that across the room.
Wings, what are you thinking about that?
Since he's putting it in a place where he's gonna cover it with his beard anyway, I feel like it should be bigger.
Get that bigger,
dude. It's huge. It's over an inch. It's this fucking big.
I'm thinking it should be 2 inches.
It's a quarter of my face, man.
The whole chat is spamming tiny. Can you look in the mirror what that looks like?
If we are indeed going to be committing to the punishment of applying a tattoo to one's face, where there is the opportunity it can be hidden by something like facial hair, and Boogie can grow it, not the thickest, but he can still grow it. Having it larger may be detrimental to the facial hair's ability to hide it. Of course, he could also just use some makeup. In truth, I thought he was going to get it nearer to his eye or something, an eyebrow, or maybe have it near his hairline. But at the same time, I understand that this was something negotiated as part of his apology tour. And the fact he's willing to do it with a little bit more, joy? Yeah? Is interesting.
I mean, we tested it today, but hold on, yeah, okay. Let me see.
I feel like it should be double that size at least.
I like the font. I will tell you this. I do like the font. Could you
turn it out bigger? Can we go bigger? I can if you'd like. Let's go a little bigger. Not double, but maybe time and a half.
Is it wrong that I feel sorry for those who are doing the tattoo? They must be rolling their eyes at this one. I wonder if they're viewers. There are parts of this where there is information I want, but at the same time, I really kinda don't. There's also the bigger picture that keeps wanting to resurface, because I did see this. I did get told about it on my Discord server, and my first thought was, this, on the face of it, without any knowledge, could be interpreted as punching down. I then have to harken back to what I said near the start. You have to shelve that in the scope of what is dubbed a response to a lie. Whether it be proportionate or not, that is open to interpretation, certainly with what can be regarded as acceptable or not acceptable.
I got a question. I know this feels weird. Are we breaking any terms of services doing this?
No, not gonna.
Probably not. I mean, it's just getting a tattoo. What would be?
No, we're not.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
If getting a tattoo was a breach of terms of service, then there would be many accounts that would actually get hit. On the screen is someone playing noughts and crosses while getting a tattoo of that on their leg. It's a thing, and totally fine within terms of service.
Oh, my friend just messaged me and said, don't do it in this font. Make it look cool. Making it in this font is what makes it degrading. That's the point. It's got to be degrading. I fucked up. It has to be degrading.
If memory serves, is the font Comic Sans? Is that the font? The Chris Chan font of old? The font that is hated by all? I mean, I've got a picture of it we could show now, but I kind of want to show you the process. Why skip to the end when you can enjoy the journey, right?
Where'd Jordy go?
Seems like people your tattoo streams.
Oh god, I just see your icon.
I have every influencer in the world DMing me right now.
You sure? Do what? You ready? Oh yeah, that's so big. Oh my god. That's so much bigger. Oh my god.
Not gonna lie, that is a little bit larger. I know Boogie has quite a large head, so many would expect the tattoo to cover a large portion of it. It would be cruel to go to that kind of extreme, even by typical standards. I thought they were going to go like teardrop style near the eye with the word liar written smaller. That is, well, it's an increase. So let's skip ahead a little and get to the tattooing part. Also, we should probably mention all the influencers reaching out about this. I'm curious how many were saying, please don't make Boogie do this. I'm kind of curious.
Yes! Yes, that's correct.
Yes!
Holy fuck.
There you go. There you go.
Holy.
There you go. That's sick. That's sick. Oh god, that's sick. I love it.
Mudahar, you for picking Comic Sans.
Okay, I had to leave that in because it answered a query I had earlier. To the tattooing!
I don't believe we will be bothering him at all as long as we talk like we are watching a safari happen where a wild animal who faked cancer.
Pause between letters, will you? My anxiety's like shooting to the roof. I'll need a little pause. Okay? Let me just finish this R up.
You're doing so good.
Will you just leave the AR on there?
You're doing very good, Boogie. You're doing very good.
He's a professional. Boogie's going to have this big patch on his face for the next day or so where it covers up from it getting infected.
Very good, Boogie. You're doing very good.
Esprit here, baby.
I am desperately trying not to laugh at how weirdly patronizing this all sounds. Again, I can understand why this looks like punching down and pushing a individual who could be seen as vulnerable to do something they should not be doing. That is an interpretation I am very much aware of. I've seen enough comments of that. However, Boogie is not that. He is the very thing being slapped to his face. So one has to bury that natural inclination to not want to push someone that far in favor of accepting that when you are willing to manipulate your audience for so long, this is a consequence. Again, I'm not the arbiter of what is or is not an appropriate or proportionate response. This is just what is, apparently a tautology.
Come on, Keemstar, call me your little man.
Come on, little boy, you're doing good, little man. You got this.
You like that, little man?
You got this, champ. Aw, you're such a good boy.
Wings, being the individual that just cannot let the intrusive thoughts stay where they should be in the back of his mind, had a contribution to the discussion concerning Ava Chris Tyson. I'm going to play that before we get to the final product of this tattoo, as it tickled me to no end. And in before someone says, considering the nature of what Ava Chris Tyson is accused of, we shouldn't be joking about it, please, for a minute, please don't. Just don't. Don't be that pedantic person for one sodding minute.
Do you think Chris Tyson would do something of this level to get back on Mr. Beast's team?
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, let me just say this. Chris Tyson, if you're out there right now, I know you got caught recently saying a lot of inappropriate stuff with kids and supporting a cartoon CP artist that drew my 8-year-old daughter in a sexual manner. I understand that you're like busted, you're kicked off of Mr. Beast, but if you really want to say sorry, I think you need a tattoo. Wings, let them know. What tattoo should Chris Tyson get?
Oh, I would say on this side of the jawline you put CIS, and on this side you put MALE.
And what does that spell out?
Cis male, like that means he'd be a straight male.
So we've reached the end. Now it is time to see the final product, the final punishment of Boogie2988 for lying about a diagnosis of cancer, where he has been told to first of all not be on social media, which he has adhered to, but also to get the word liar in Comic Sans tattooed to his face 1.5 times larger than originally intended.
Wings, can you believe this?
When you put this punishment up there, I didn't think he'd ever go for it. Like, this is some medieval shit. This is like the way they put like the poor people. We're gonna make you castless.
All right, Boogie. For your final step, you need to take the L. Wait, is it done?
Is it? Yep, it's done.
Oh, shit.
Oh my gosh.
And we have 24,000 concurrent viewers. Boogie gets liar tattooed to his face after faking cancer.
I figured I'll leave this picture up on the screen for the final part of this video. I'm kind of curious to see whether or not this means Boogie's punishment is complete. Hello everyone, we're going to talk about LOLCOW Live today. I've been observing their more recent episodes since the firing, and including the firing, I guess, of Tommy C. As you have heard in yesterday's video, I didn't support that. It seemed a bit shitty considering he was trying to get them all to work together to make a show together, and that's not how they work. It's strange to me that when Boogie did all this horrible stuff, scamming, lying, cheating, stealing, without the fun-loving Eddie Guerrero involved, he is essentially still there. Tommy, though, calling out that BS Tommy C holding them to the mark, trying to keep the show going properly and getting them to work together was haram. Sorry. Haram! Are we allowed to say that with all the protests going on in the UK right now? You know what? Doesn't matter. Reaches my doorstep, it's a completely different problem. But apparently in the context of this, it was enough to get rid of Tommy C, which makes no sense to me. Tommy has since gone on his show, especially to expose the goings-on behind the scenes. More notably, the fact they are not shareholders. They are merely employees of Daniel Killer Keemstar, the DJ. Now, for the sake of it, I really enjoy LOLCOW Live. And that first show, where Boogie was in charge, was horrendous. It was embarrassing. It was cringe. It was embarrassing and cringe because Boogie does not know how to do a show. He tried to fake reaction and reactivity to try and be that angry version that people really enjoyed. It didn't resonate so well. The live chat and the comments and Twitter called him out for that. I doubt he paid much attention to it, because unless it was Metka and Muta saying it to him on stream, he won't hyper-focus on it and obsess over it because tunnel vision, instead favouring the donations and of course the revenue generated from the stream. I had speculated when the Boogie situation had died down, he would be back on the show. I had also speculated that the law of diminishing returns would come into effect, and it had come into effect right at the end when Boogie got the tattoo, because when it came to what he was doing, for the first 4 streams they did covering Boogie faking cancer, the views went up, and now it's going down again, which it will. To be honest, I think they'll do better in a live format. They just need to be a bit more consistent with the show they put on. I also think as a show, because I really do want it to succeed, but not with Boogie to be honest, but I want it to succeed because I want shows like this to be something on the internet, somewhere where we can have a laugh at LOLCOWs. You can't have a laugh at one of the LOLCOWs who's presenting because he can't take a joke. You need someone who's in charge of the show who's not a LOLCOW. That's what you need. You need the balance. So the LOLCOWs can be let off their leashes while the host is the person that keeps them in check, which is why I thought Tommy C was there, to be honest. Now in that first stream since Boogie's reintegration, because he's totally fired still, yes, and Boogie hosted and it went down like a lump of lead, Keemstar came back for this newest episode. Top left, yes. As you see, the views aren't as great either. It's still doing really well though. I would kill for these kind of views on a live show. They get thousands of viewers live. I can sometimes get a couple hundred, which is awesome. Of course it is. Different levels of content. LOLCOW Live is not the same as Moistski Live, but I had believed with the end that Keemstar was going to step back and let these guys off the leash. But as we've covered in various tweets here and there, Keem has come to the realization he actually needs to be hands-on. He has to play God, as it were. He has to be the person to rein them in because no one will listen to anyone else.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the worst podcast on all of YouTube, LOLCOW Live. Where do I even begin? So much drama, so much nonsense since this show was at its ultimate heights. It's been a f***ing messy week. It's been a messy week. As soon as I walked away from the show, nothing got done. Nothing got done at all. These guys couldn't organize anything. They couldn't set up a show. They couldn't figure it out without me directing orders at every single person, which makes no sense.
Apparently Keem's Karen or Ken behavior is good enough to get people involved. Congratulations. Now yesterday I showed you the social blade for LOLCOW Live. It had lost 200 subs, but it has since recovered that 100 it lost on one of the days and gone up another 100. I didn't think that it would be a long-term loss with Tommy being removed because Tommy isn't a well-known enough name. I think in the context of the show, because of the accusation being levied at it of manufactured drama, had Boogie not gotten the tattoo, there is a possibility the show would have lost some more subscribers. But I think people live for this kind of mess. It's why you see it in certain communities when there is a LOLCOW people like to gravitate towards. This was not helped, as I earlier mentioned, by Boogie being a host, where he is not suited to being one, and he just could not control when he was or was not going to have an outburst, and he wouldn't let anyone finish a sentence. Doesn't work with wings very well. Within this chemical mix, you need a third, a catalyst. Somebody who can instigate what needs to be instigated and rein it in when it needs to be reined in. To be honest, Keem's not the worst option if he's willing to do it. But I know he's busy sorting out Drama Alert, so it's not always possible he'll be available. Also, it can be argued at times he is considered sometimes to be a LOLCOW, but he's not as poor as the other two. Man made his money and kept it. They made money and they blew it. Now in the case of Wings, there is context. In the case of Boogie, he's stupid. I know you can argue the same with Wings as well, but the context is a little different. What I thought I'd do is go through a few clips from the more recent episode of LOLCOW Live and see how they're getting on trying to find a replacement for Tommy C.
And then there's the whole situation with Tommy C, who in my opinion quit the f***ing show. And let me explain. This mother did everything possible to be fired where I had to fire him.
Do forgive me if I seem a little pedantic here, but I get this from my audience. It's a rather negative trait that I intend to address at a later date. But by Tommy doing everything he could to get fired, in your mind, that is equivalent to him quitting the show. But according to Tommy, he wasn't trying to quit the show at all. He had outright stated the only way you're getting rid of him is if you fire him, because he wouldn't sign an NDA, and because he wanted people to have meetings and talk. This again was discussed on Tommy C's show. Now, Keemstar carries on for a few minutes and he talks about the beta podcast and the rise of Tommy C from that. How the percentages originally worked out between himself, Clown, and Tommy, because Keem drove most of the traffic. Colossal didn't have the presence, and Tommy had 200 subs at the time. He definitely did not have the presence, traffic, or audience. How that eventually became something discussing finances on air, and how it fell apart. And then how, upon agreeing to splits for this podcast, it was a rule they not discuss finances on air, to which they did. I found that strange, to be honest. Talking about money on air was a bit of an odd one because you rely, especially in the live setting, when you went live anyway, it becomes strange because then you're reliant on the audience anyway to support you. The podcast didn't need to have the numbers broadcast, but there was something about that making that kind of money that people felt the need to suddenly share it, and I never quite understood that.
So I tried to get everyone to sign an NDA. Wings gave me a little bit of pushback, but signed it. Boogie signed it. And Tommy C decided, not only am I not going to sign this, I'm going to post the NDA on Twitter. Okay, well, now you're working against us, bud. So that was when he was on vacation. I thought, maybe things would calm down. We'll eventually have a meeting. We'll talk this out, once Tommy cools down, once I cool down, because I was pissed too at the time. Well, he comes back from vacation. Does it work?
In one respect, I felt slightly sorry for Tommy. Firstly, the NDA is a bit redundant. You just needed a gentleman's agreement between all of you that you'd stop it. If you can't abide the gentleman's agreement, it come with a forfeit. NDA is redundant, really. It wasn't legally binding either. Second, I felt sorry for Tommy because when it came to the Boogie stuff, he was on vacation. He missed out on the hottest part of the show. Not his fault, although at the same time he and Keem had an argument, so perhaps not the greatest time. And what could Tommy have added to the discussion at that point? And just before we continue, because I need to put something on from the show itself as opposed to Keemstar ranting for the first 20 minutes. This show is an absolute mess, and that is what makes this show as appealing as it is. People gravitate towards toxicity. This doesn't resonate as well because Tommy's been perceived to have been screwed over in the past. I have chosen that word on purpose because I'm not as knowledgeable on the subject matter, and it is often open to interpretation. If the mess dies down, then people are less interested in what LOLCOW Live can be. And I do think there's a point about having more shorts made, so your editor needs to do his job, although I believe he has since been fired.
But again, they'll fix it.
Hold up on the donations. Nicholas Doris said Tommy tweeted the editor was fired.
When was he fired?
I haven't got this information.
Yeah.
He hasn't been fired.
He hasn't been fired as far as I know.
I mean, he created the thumbnail for this tweet.
Yeah, and
if Tommy's up tweeting, why didn't Tommy get on the show?
Yep, probably out of like some sort of, I don't want to be on that show. If I didn't do it, I deleted it. I did it.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has. Because he didn't upload shorts for an entire month, and we don't need a goddamn editor anymore.
Well,
you also need to make sure that when you're doing these shows, you have video formats as well, because people want to digest videos, and that has the best bits, the shorts as well accompanying that. When the channel's big enough, you could separate LOLCOW Live as a live channel and have a video channel as well, maybe even a shorts channel. It's not the worst idea, really, is it?
Do you guys want to voice your opinion on Tommy? Did you hear the last thing I said? I said, listen, I'm going to leave the door open a crack. Maybe in the future, things can be amends or something. Another thing that I didn't talk about, which I probably should have talked about, is I have not been liking Tommy's performances. And that's also another issue on top of this. Whatever Keemstar wants, I'm going to do the exact opposite type that he's been doing.
I don't personally think Tommy needs the show. And I don't think the show needs him either. If Tommy decides to go back, that wouldn't be too surprising. Also, him not going back would not be surprising either. Finding another host could be entertaining. A rolling guest host, perhaps. Didn't Have I Got News For You do that after Angus Deaton got done for sleeping with a prostitute. There's another aspect to this show that needed to be addressed, because the Tommy C. Keemstar thing is its own entity. The other is something I mentioned yesterday that we're going to have to address today, and that concerns the Comic Sans fonted tattoo yep, on Cancer2988's face.
Yeah.
Hey, stay on topic.
I'm sorry, but I can't trust chat. Chat has lost all credibility, obviously, as a whole.
You're worried about the show, the chat losing credibility with us. What about Boogie's fucking tattoo? Where's that credibility at? It looks like it's drawn on with a crayon.
Wait, stay on topic. I was about to make a point.
This has been a point for a few streams, and on social media there's been much in the way of speculation that this tattoo is not properly done. I don't know how you can balls it up, because I'm not too familiar with tattoos. I was always led to believe, though, that the needle goes so far in, takes a few days, and then it sets, as it were. Over time, it will fade, it will blur, so you get it touched up, refined, redefined if required.
Weird, bitch. All right, Tommy, stay on topic.
Wait, let me finish this point, and then we do need to talk about the tattoo. Dude!
Where were they on our side then?
I forgot about that.
Haters. So, okay, well, let's get to this tattoo thing, because this is like, I have creators calling me up and they're saying like, hey, Keem, off record, did Boogie fake his tattoo? And I tell them, I don't know. I'm not in Arkansas. If he did, he's really...
Boogie doesn't rage about this as much as I was hoping he would, but he does start to backpedal a little, talk about the legitimacy of the tattoo, which leads to him having to shave the side of his face so he can get a better view of the tattoo.
How would you fake it? It was live. I had a needle going in and out of my face. You filmed the blood.
Well, we couldn't see the needle going in and out of your face. We had a dude blocking it.
And you couldn't hear the gun. The gun was making no sound.
I'm going to play devil's advocate on the needle point, not making any sound. The devil's advocate part is I have used phone microphones for certain audio I've done, and I've discovered it doesn't pick up on my phone, my Google Pixel phone, it doesn't pick up certain buzzing noises. So I could believe that the needle was working, but I will point out this still, no, I'm still not convinced. I'm only going to play audio devil's advocate, but actually my belief is it's still not a real tattoo.
Secondly, explain to me why it's all scarred and bleeding then if it's fake.
It doesn't look scarred and bleeding to me. It looks like it's barely there.
Can you get your girlfriend to put the flashlight on your phone on that real quick?
Yeah, I can do that actually. Hold on.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if you had somebody come in and look at your tattoo, like on a glance, nobody would know that the word was liar.
The one thing I hated about the tattoo is how Boogie was happy about getting it. Like, that was such a letdown. He's like, I'm okay with it now. Like, yay, I'm feel good today.
Rather than prolong your suffering and having to look at the cheeks of Boogie, perhaps we should look at the end product of the shaving.
You're taking too long.
I need a host that hates
me. Okay, can we see it now that it's shaved? Let's go.
Well, I'm gonna get it all.
Oh, for fuck's sake! This is the longest.
Don't you want to see it?
Yeah. Is that the term? This is what he did. He was quiet quitting. Let's see.
So it's faded for sure, but it's real.
No offense intended, but it looks like it was drawn in a Sharpie, and that now you've bothered to wash your face a little bit, some of the ink has come off. Now I do know, because my next door neighbor is a tattoo artist, you're supposed to leave it for a few days to let it sink, set, do its thing. I could believe the tattoo is real, and that you then went and scrubbed your face to make sure that ink didn't fully set in. I could also believe the needle barely went into your skin at all, and that you've simply peeled that layer off. I could also believe that it was drawn in a pen shaped to look like a tattoo gun, or that you simply had the tattoo ink put over your face with a stencil.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. This will be here
Dude,
a year.
I think it's even worse now. Like,
that's
dude,
fake.
Can you pull a fucking tattoo up when it first got done. It was nice and vibrant and black. I mean, the eye's not even there.
Yeah, it got infected, and I picked it every day until Desi made me stop.
No, you know what happened there? You got that with a fucking Tootsie Roll or some shit. Like, what kind of tattoo is that?
I mean, it's not going to get any more faded than this because it's healing. I mean, it's going to be there for the rest of my life. You know, I won't even bother lasering that.
Another month. I mean, like,
no, I'm telling you, in a year it'll still be here. I'm telling you.
I would be very impressed if it is still there in a year. I'm not surprised that you say it got infected, so you picked at it, because that's what children do. Usually we apply some kind of ointment. I assume you ate it. Jokes aside, no one believes the tattoo is real, so I think you should, when it's healed up, have it redone. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to look at some of the reactions on recent episodes of LOLCOW Live. The reason why is because a Reddit user had posited a theory of a consequence many believe should have been given to Boogie anyway. This consequence is a monetary one, and it's led us down a rather amusing path, where in a more recent one, Boogie took part in what is considered community service. We'll get to that soon. We also have commentary from the likes of Wings' wife.
Anyhow, talking about scams, a Reddit user put out, pay Tommy out of Boogie's shares. He doesn't deserve to make money off of his cancer lies and scamming people, which we 100% are doing that.
You're
not
blowing out.
Jordy, did you hear what he just said?
Prior to this moment, they were discussing how they were, or when they were, if they were, paying Tommy C at all. It was a lengthy discussion, and they were all quite happy about the discussion. It was productive. The moment the conversation switched to this one Reddit user suggesting that Boogie should not be paid, well, clearly Boogie had not been given the memo, which I found quite funny. It's going to get funnier, don't worry.
What, that we're taking your money? We are taking your money.
You're joking, right? That's a bit.
No, you can't.
Fucking bit.
You can't get paid in the month of August for faking cancer. Are you serious?
Yes, I'm serious, dude.
I do firmly believe that Boogie will more than likely get paid anyway, but that's, let's say, a bit of a spoiler. But I also do, on a moral stance, believe he should be paid anyway. Anyone that is on the show should be paid to be on the show. I know that the other moral aspect to this, profiting off of a lie, is where that line could be seen, but they have an agreement and a split. Therefore, Boogie should be paid for his time, even if he is a terrible host and an equally terrible person. The same is said for the likes of Tommy, because Tommy had his holiday agreed upon. The coincidence of it happening, or the Boogie fakery happening when Tommy's away, is irrelevant.
You tried to buy me off of the show. You fired me. We tore up that contract. Team, I donated $4,000 of my money to charity. My bank account's pretty much at zero right now. I don't even have enough to get through this month. What's going to happen to me on August 1st, team?
Okay.
No.
Okay, calm down for a second.
What's happening to me on August 1st?
Not to be intentionally pedantic, but this stream was from August the 8th. I think he means September 1st, since, August 1st has already happened. Boogie being angry about all of this can be seen as legitimate concern for his income, since he's not really doing much on his own content. Twitch would be a great thing for him to do, as would YouTube if he could be asked. Inability to help oneself is kind of his go-to. The Francis character apparently is more close to reality than he would like to believe. But, as always, it can also be seen if you see the chat to the side of the video as it's playing as fake drama, or fake Boogie, because Boogie does sensationalize, but it's whether or not any of it's truthful. There is an issue, a grey area, as it were.
My mortgage is due. My health insurance is due. No, there's no calming down.
Calm down.
Are you
Boogie, it would be incredibly unethical for you to get paid on our best month ever because you faked cancer.
I already gave the money away. I already gave the money away. I was hoping to get some of it back, but I already donated $4,000 of that paycheck to charity. It's already in a cancer charity's hands.
Is it me, Or is it the more irate Boogie gets, whether manufactured or not, the closer he sounds to Ethan Ralph? I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Now, Boogie may well have donated money to charity. He may well have responsibilities. All of this is stemming from a Reddit post. So whether they're being serious or not entirely comes down to whether or not he could for a second just calm his tits. His somewhat substantial man tits. Or this could all just be fake. I mean, it's equally possible.
Now what am I supposed to f***ing do? What am I supposed to do? I have a $2,000 mortgage hitting the third. I have health insurance. I have electric. You want me to be on this show? I have to have lights. I have to have... Come on to pay for it.
How is it Boogie's using quite a interesting microphone? He is in and out. The balance on that microphone must be horrendous. I know I get stick for this Yeti X thing I'm having problems with. I really do wish I could just go back to using the Yeti. I really do. But his audio imbalance is impressive. The spike in it must be killing it. Sorry, I was going to nerd out for a second on the quality of his microphone, then I realised I don't have enough time and you'd all unclick. Click off, dislike, disappear, all of that.
I'll steal your fucking screen cap. I'm like...
His microphone is going in and out.
Calm down.
This is.
Wait.
No. Bullshit. Get
Are you
nothing.
even thinking about this? Why should you make money faking cancer? That's insane. Like, we can't do that.
You're out of your mind.
And I think you're a gullible prat who is going to do anything for views and for money. So if there's a chance, they can use you to drum up additional interest in the show by having you go absolutely balmy ape over the fact that, well, they don't want you to get paid, but it's all coming from a Reddit post. They're going to take advantage of it knowing you're going to get triggered to high hell. This isn't overly complicated here, Boogs. You really should pay more attention.
You're out of your... Dude, I can't be homeless.
The good news, Boogie, the banks will work with you.
You know, I have it on good authority, some banks do like to do that. If it is possible to keep you as a customer, many will seek to do that, unless, of course, you have in the past done anything that would undermine that trust relationship. Again, all being strung along this entire situation because it was a Reddit post and Keem just ran with it.
Well, Tommy C's getting the
joke?
Tommy C's getting the full
joke?
$6,000 or whatever
Is
the is.
Joke, dude. Listen,
you gotta be
how
serious.
can I be on the show? No, make this make sense. Do you want me on the show in August? Do you want me on the show in August at all? Because if you do, I have the internet. You dumb. How am I supposed to do that without power? How am I supposed to be on this show? There's nothing.
Bro, you got money. Bro, okay, who even believes this? Who even... Calm down! Calm down! Calm the down!
Now that was one show. That one being Boogie and Wings Go Grocery Shopping, brackets, live. To be honest, it clearly came across as a bit fake. Amusing though, although to be honest, Boogie could well actually mean this. It's hard to tell with him these days. The second thing I want to go through concerns interaction between Boogie and Wings' missus.
Hello.
So, Kelly, why do you not like Boogie?
Where are we getting this information from?
Jordy. Jordy said you hate Boogie.
I don't hate Boogie. I have a strong dislike for Boogie.
Why?
I will tell you first off, I vote on every poll you do. If we should fire Boogie, if you should pay Boogie, I vote.
And what do you vote?
The last one was, should you pay Boogie? And I said no.
Weirdly enough, that was a prevailing theme with a lot of what Boogie should do, consequences he should receive. I still favour the one where he's fired from the podcast, but at the same time, I'm fully aware that without him there, the numbers on the show aren't going to be as good. Since he hasn't been fired, this is being stretched out as long as it can be, and I understand that, to make as much money from it while the law of diminishing returns comes into effect, or until a new drama comes up that they can then milk like there's no tomorrow.
Because as someone that's had health issues, faking a health issue and making money off of it and then making more money off of it.
I didn't make any money off of it. I didn't make any money off of it. I never put up a GoFundMe. I didn't monetize the video in which I talked about it.
But you did.
I accepted a promotion.
You did. You constantly would talk about how hey, they asked for me to come. Me say my piece, then you can talk.
Okay.
That's right. Treat Boogie like a child. Boogies should be seen and not heard. In this, he should wait his turn rather than reacting to everything, because with the full context, if we are to believe this is real, he can then respond to everything with more clarity. I would say honesty as well, but that's not a word synonymous with Boogie.
Alright, so here's the thing with that. You would say, oh, I have cancer, poor pity me, poor me. Like, you would do that. And most people, I'll tell you, I don't even like it when Georgie says I was a cancer survivor. I don't like it because I feel like there's so many people that are in worst case shape that I don't want anyone's sympathy. Put that to someone else.
When something like what Boogie did hits close to home, it is very hard for others, or for those affected, to see objectively, but because of the position they see from, they can see this from a position of somebody taking advantage. Because, let's face it here, you did lie about having cancer. People stuck around because they wanted to see you pull through. So, did you keep viewers because of that lie, which means you then monetarily benefited from it, or not?
There's the fact that you don't do anything for yourself. Even on the shopping video, everyone was handing you the stuff, or you'll send someone to go do it.
Additionally, most of the food from the shopping video was just chocolate and other forms of junk food. Bit of a waste. I mean, we can all judge, I guess, to an extent. We all have cravings. I understand that. I myself am partial to a chocolate cigarette. I am joking, of course I am, don't try me. However, when it comes to what we are seen doing in the online space, especially in a public setting, considering how important your health is and how poorly you treat it, people are going to look down on what you do when you go shopping. Whether it be the choice of the food you buy, or what it is you have others do to make your adventure more palatable for you.
Oh, you saw me checking out, and I checked out myself. What are you talking about? All that was in the shopping video is me checking out. In the entire 20-minute thing, I did the shopping.
She saw the first video you submitted, the 20-minute one.
Yes, and I literally picked everything off the shelf. What are you talking about? You're out of your mind. I'm uploading that to YouTube right now. No, I'm watching that on YouTube right now. They can watch the entire thing on YouTube right now.
Has anyone else noticed, now that Boogie's in the presence of one of his superiors, the profanities have gone out of the window? Now, you may not have noticed it in all the raging earlier, because I had to cut it all out. Somehow, LOLCOW Live is monetized with all the profanities in the live show. I put one of those profanities in a video, and I am instantly demonetized. Make this make sense, please.
And let them decide how much the things I picked off the shelf, which I do.
Bro, first of all, you rode in one of those scooters. You didn't even walk down the aisles.
Yes, because we were going to be in there for an hour to film, and I can't stand up for an hour. I can barely stand up for 5 minutes. I don't use them when I jump in, pick up 3 things, and leave. But if I'm going to film for an hour, then I'm going to be in a cart.
Oh, so you had a bad cancer day. No response?
No.
To your bad cancer day?
Because you're the one who knows. I might still have this, by the way. You're the one who knows. That's the reason I'm going to the doctor on the 16th, is because I'm still being treated for this.
It is not my place to judge how one gets about in a supermarket, although I will admit, after watching Amblin Reed for years do it, Chantel does it, Nick Ocado does it for the Bants, I do firmly believe that you can do it, but you have to put in the one thing you've lacked for years. To be able to stand up for longer, you've got to make a concerted effort for your health. You really do. And that means pushing your body every single day. You have to, or you will be bedbound. If all you're doing is sitting down for the majority of the day, your day is wasted. Someone like yourself, Boogie, needs to be more active. And that video of the shopping, yes, and your cope about it, show your own inability to understand the major point. It's well known you're an ungrateful turd anyway. Add to this, you're an entitled turd. Now, there is another interaction in this show concerning Muta. I want to play a brief clip of that as well, just to show you the difference in how Boogie treats Wings' wife to how Boogie treats Muta.
Yeah, we had a physical contract. We ripped it up.
Does it still exist? Has it been notarized by a lawyer?
No, it's.
Well, then I guess it doesn't count then.
Well, it was like a DocuSign thing. He did sign it, but it's just like we verbally on camera said it's kind of ripped up now. But yeah.
Yeah. I just don't think if you fake cancer, it's a good look paying that person out.
How about, so you think it's better to pay Tommy, who literally wasn't here for 3 weeks, with that money?
Yeah, Tommy didn't fake cancer, though.
Additionally, this is a false equivalence. Tommy had pre-agreed arranged holiday time. The fact this happened means nothing. His holiday meant he was guaranteed his 3 weeks' pay. He was guaranteed it, Boogie. You shouldn't be getting anything the moment you were fired beyond what you were meant to get paid up to the point of being fired. But you're still here, which means you're still getting money.
But he also didn't work. He also wasn't fucking here.
He didn't fake cancer, though.
He already knew that he was going to quit.
Yeah, but he didn't fake cancer.
Yeah, you understand that this. You understand this effectively means I have to quit the show. I'm officially filing my 3-week vacation, Muta.
Okay.
Just like Tommy did. I expect to be paid fully for those 3 weeks, and I'll see you guys then.
I'll be honest, I'm somewhat surprised you hadn't explored that option sooner, or asked at least for 3 weeks severance on top of your cut for the show, which, according to Reddit and Keem running with it to annoy you, you ain't getting. But I fully expect you to, because this is basically, again, a bit. Any excuse to poke you, and it's not very difficult.
Over the side of the road, parked on the grass with my hazards on. I promise you a cop's gonna...
Holy shit. Get the trash. I thought he would stay on that side, though. Okay, we gotta do full screen, Boogie. 1 minute.
You know there's going to be a cop interaction on this stream, right?
Oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait.
This clip is taken from a recent LOLCOW live episode of Boogie doing community service. As part of his penance tour, much like the Orville, he's got to get approval rating up, and those likes dislikes have got to be in his favour.
Because, like, our chat's going to be, like, calling his local, like, police precinct right now. There's a drunk man on the side of the highway in a yellow vest.
Yo, why does his Crocs match his whole fit? 10 more minutes, you get a break. In his desk last stream, Google rubbing alcohol on a tattoo. Ooh. Oh, Boogie looks like he's stuck.
Oh, dude, he's in the house of pain right now. 110% in the house of pain. I'm gonna let you know this. Once he sits down on the ground, pretty much, it's gonna be done. So
I'll play one more clip of Boogie's penance before we finish, because Boogie has to adjust himself a little so as to get the most out of his community service.
Obviously, do it.
Oh my God! He almost got hit by a car. Oh. Town do you live in? Fayetteville, right? Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Why are you doxing me? They're gonna figure out where I am. They're gonna send the cops.
Everyone knows where you live. I'm just trying to figure out the actual temperature there right now.
Lose that weight, especially when you're on that medicine.
Yeah, except I'm not gonna be able to walk for 2 days because my back is sore because my teeth ache.
And thusly begins Boogie's long line and list of ailments that mean he cannot do something. To not be able to do something is usually because you are in some way prevented. In the case of Boogie, it is not that you are prevented, it is that you have allowed yourself to be prevented because you want to be prevented. You want to stop, you want to be sedentary, you want to mope, whine, complain about all these asinine problems that are entirely your fault. Today we're going to be taking a look at the ongoing, continuing, never-ending as it seems, apology tour for Cancer2988. Because even though he has done a fair bit so far, because the views it garners, it seems only right for the somewhat ironically named LOLCOW Live to milk this one like there's no tomorrow and get as much out of it as possible. And having watched the most recent episode of The Apology Tour, a rip-off from the Orville, I can safely say this did garner a considerable amount of monetary benefit to all parties involved. On August the 30th, it was announced on LOLCOW Live's Twitter, Boogie2988, worst punishment yet. Included in that tweet is an image of a person looking like Boogie sat at a table with a bunch of water balloons. The sign reading, I faked cancer. My apologies, I faked cancer. Hit me. Continuing, Boogie will be at Fayetteville Downtown Square or on Dixon Street right next to each other. Feel free to hit him with a water balloon. Reply, lol, he's F. Keemstar actually wants Boogie to get hurt. Keem is entirely responsible if he gets seriously injured, and if that happens, Boogie should sue the person who will inevitably assault him and Keemstar for allowing this. And it's effing gross turning this into content to laugh about, as if scamming people and faking cancer is a big joke. Everyone involved with this is disgusting as far as I'm concerned. This isn't helping anyone. Public humiliation doesn't humble, nor does it teach humility. Boogie tweeted out an image of, I believe, his partner Desi holding up the I faked cancer hit me sign, saying this is the dumbest effing thing you have asked me to do, and this is legit going to get me unalived, you dumb gnome F. Keemstar can suck my chub. As you can tell, he took this one very well. Reply, why would you fake cancer, Lamal? Don't you already have enough health problems? Reply, I got told to have it, and also have been treated for it for a year, but I shouldn't have spoken about it online without a full diagnosis I was willing to share. The most appropriate image here, you guys have milked this to death with a very, very skinny cow. Boogie retweeted LOLCOW Live, saying, what the F is wrong with you, Jesus Christ, you're gonna get me, pew pew, you're a effing idiot, god damn it, Keem. And as Turkey Tom has said, real drama by the way, super real. Yes. There is a certain level of staged about this. I assume they got the creative from the WWE to make sure this seemed as seamless a story as possible, and I keenly await the resolution of fisticuffs in a squared circle. Keemstar retweeted Boogie by saying, you'll be fine. By the way, Boogie is going to be at Fayetteville Downtown Square, Arkansas. Go hit him with a water balloon. Oh dear. Reply, Boogie gets shot. Keem next week. I have an even worse punishment plan this time. Keemstar, true. LOLCOW Live later tweeted, I can confidently say letting Boogie come back to LOLCOW Live to be a host was the correct decision, Keem. To be honest, I don't think you should have, but at the same time I can understand why you would. He makes money, he is a draw, but the man did lie about a serious health condition for a number of years. And then when he was caught out by Destiny and others, called out as well, you fired him only to rehire him. You then had him sign some nonsensical NDAs, got rid of Tommy for nonsensical reasons, and then proceeded to punish, air quotes around that word, Boogie to high hell, but in reality you've not punished him at all. It seems he has the ability to be in public and humiliate himself, whether it be picking up trash, whether it be going to a Trump rally, whether it be doing this, which we'll get to soon, don't worry. Boogie retweeted someone called Member, who had said, let's be real, at this point you just love the attention you are getting from this, by saying, honestly, I agreed to do this stuff because I felt bad about talking about my cancer before I got the full diagnosis. It was a dumb and awful thing to do, and I wanted to do everything I could to make up for it. But after this, I think I'm done with the humiliation. Reply, Boogie, I used to love to watch your streams. They were full of positivity and optimism. They lifted me out of dark times. Now the stuff you are posting unalives me. I hate to do this, but I am you following, unfollowing, and hope you learn to love yourself again. Reply, we will ride the mouse again someday. See you soon. On the 2nd of September, Boogie posted a picture from Boogie2988 community on Reddit of Boogie getting, well, doused in Mountain Dew, I believe, after his adventures on the more recent episode of LOLCOW Live, clips of which I want to go through now.
All right, let me see here. All right, we are live on air, waiting for Wings and, you know, of course, Boogie.
Are you there?
Oh, I'm here.
I'm literally downtown. I'm not even starting. I think
you have a right to be more of a bad mood than Wings of Redemption.
Yeah, you think so?
So prior to the stream, Wings of Redemption had been streaming and getting his ass handed to him in a video game. Naturally, that meant he had to be in a bad mood, because one's inability to win a video game means that their entire day has been destroyed. But in the context of what was going on, surely, if you're going to weigh the two up, Boogie has it worse, because he has to do something IRL. If at any point a sarcasm sign is required, that there be a you problem.
Where is he? Ladies and gentlemen, the guy sitting in the dark, Wings of Redemption. Wings, why are you upset today? What's going on?
Just had a stream.
Why? What happened?
Got around and trolled for 2 hours on Battlefield 5.
I know it's not the most important thing in the world, but I did remember seeing in the live chat to this, the thing as it was unfolding and all the donations rolling in, a lot of people railing Wings for some of the shady things he's done in the past. So I wanted to use it as an opportunity to say, yes, Wings has done some rather crappy things in the past. Because this is about another one of those, air quotes, punishments for Boogie, that is the focus of the show. Additionally, while highlighting it, it is unlikely they're going to make Wings do anything because Wings will just rage quit and leave. The same cannot be said for Boogie because Wings can fall back on his streaming. He gets trolled mercilessly and has been for years. Boogie is now starting to understand what it means, what it takes to be a LOLCOW. Although it can be argued this staged nonsense isn't so much LOLCOW territory, more budget TNA territory.
Dude, this has got to be the greatest show on the YouTube right now. What do you think about the table idea, Boogie?
I don't know. I'm doing what I'm told. I didn't try to stop and evaluate anything. I'm doing what I'm told.
Some of you are going to notice Boogie speaks, to this day, he still speaks with a lisp. Because when he got his teeth done, he got teeth far too big for his mouth. So a lot of the times when he speaks as if there are cotton balls still there. They're not. Boogie just has he hasn't ground them down yet. Let's go with that. Yeah, let's be charitable. I do love, though, as he's setting up for his water balloon festival, yes, he's still getting trolled by his own co-hosts.
Ladies and gentlemen, 5,000 concurrent viewers. Guys, do me a favor. Do me a favor. Wings, we have to issue a punishment for you. So I know you're already having a bad day, but you really, really f***ed up on that Trump rally content. And we're going to see, and you can do it in 4 different segments, but we need 20 sit-ups today.
20 sit-ups?
20 sit-ups. You can do it 5 at a time.
You know, you have those moments from time to time where you say something and it's immediately undone, even though it could be argued the punishment is kind of weak tea. Yeah, this is one of those times. We'll get to the water balloon stuff in a moment, I promise. I thought I'd include Wings doing his punishment first.
Well, here's the thing. If I start sit-ups and I don't do them all in one go, my abs are going to lock up. So I have to do all 20 at one time.
All right, do all 20 at one time. Go. While we're waiting for Boogie to set up, let's get on it.
Let me stretch first.
Let me stretch. Oh, God. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, he's going for it. 7, 8, 9, 10.
We'll break them up into 10s.
Must not judge, must not judge, must not judge, must not judge, must not judge. Okay. So Boogie is still setting up for the show, for his punishment. Okay. Let's see how he's getting on.
All right, this information was brought to you by a man who faked cancer, ladies and gentlemen. Boogie2988.
All right, we're just excited. Do you know I faked cancer? I know. It doesn't matter, man. Are you guys fans of LOLCOW Live?
Oh my God,
No.
Wings
Are you
might
subscribed to the
die.
show? Keemstar can go himself.
No lie, when I saw this was announced, I genuinely didn't think anyone would turn up anyway. I didn't think anyone would want to go to Fayetteville, Arkansas, to throw a water balloon at Boogie2988. Because why bother, even with such a sign in a public place? But as time progressed, more people did in fact join. So perhaps we should get some of those balloon shots in.
Hey, sunglasses guy.
You're gonna have to get out. You gotta. We're live streaming here. Come on.
Step out of the car.
Oh God.
It's going down, people. It's going down.
It's worth it. Come on.
Look, I gotta. What's up, Boogie?
What's up, man? How you doing? Are you all ready?
You got it.
Don't hit me. Don't hit the side. Don't hit the
Hit his
face.
ass.
Oh,
she missed.
Oh.
What? Yeah.
Not the face. I literally said not the face. She aimed right for the face.
Let's be honest here. The face is the best thing to hit because it's more of a present target. Your body's an obvious one, but we're not doing a wet t-shirt contest. Although, to be honest, there's no point you wearing the t-shirt. No, instead, the face is better because it's more humiliating. If we are to commit to this legitness, we have to go balls deep. Continuing.
I don't want to have a black nose or black eye after this.
He's eating water balloons.
Tell me, okay, have you been personally affected by cancer?
Family, friends, anything like that? My uncle passed away from it. One of my friends just beat it. So
beat his ass.
Do it for them. Do it for them. Not the face, please. Damn,
hold on. It is.
Oh God, it hurts.
If there's a consolation, Boogie, it's that you made a rather substantial amount of money on this live stream. So think of it as additional funds to help you pay for a pointless lifestyle where you do sod all, yet subsidize the lives of others around you. Because you're not interested in your future, you're only interested in racing yourself to the bottom. Why not go out with a few balloons to the face?
Don't, not the face.
Okay, John Diaper says 20.
God, bagel? No, I don't want the bagel.
Hit him with a bagel. Hit him with a bagel. Hit him with a bagel. Hit him with a bagel.
Why do you have a bagel?
Hit him with a bagel.
Is this going to be the next punishment on the list? Hitting Boogie with all the bagels in all the land? Because I'm kind of okay with that one. That one tickles me a bit too much. More than water balloons, in fact. It's a waste of good bagel, but at the same time, if we take the liberty of loading those up with cream cheese and some smoked salmon, yeah.
You take a bite, I'll take a couple bites. Give me half, give me half. Chew and swallow. Here, you, chew and swallow. Yeah.
Marty and Boogie, give it unto you.
Oh my God. I can't.
This looks fun.
I can't believe people like this piece of shit. There's no way. Like, these are like fans. Beat his ass.
I did die against, not the face. You fucking. How the you guys missing me fucking thing? The face, you fake cancer, you bitch.
I firmly believe that if we're going to abide this kind of punishment, Boogie should take it on the face or line up against the wall and have them repeatedly thrown at his nuts. Anyone remember that game as a kid with the tennis ball? Yeah, not a fan. In this instance, though, it seems appropriate, although I'm not entirely convinced Boogie could stand up long enough. And there is a rather substantial crowd growing. I am somewhat impressed. I don't know what rules are, or the rules are in Fayetteville when it comes to a public gathering like that. In my country, sometimes you have to give your local council notice. I was kind of hoping the police would turn up and throw them at him as well, though, not gonna lie.
Then you throw a
Hit him again! Hit him again!
Grandpa, hey, consent before I throw it at you. Consent that I can throw it at you before I throw it.
No, you throw it at me.
Call him daddy.
He consents. He consents. Beat his right the.
He's not right in the dick. Boogie's got a protective dick cover.
Yeah, he
made.
He got a shield.
You gotta warn me before you do it. Warn me. I didn't know this was coming. I didn't know.
No warning. Give him no warnings.
You can tell me I'm about to throw the thing.
Now, of course, the stream goes on for a long time and does end with them basically just launching all the balloons at him and pouring Mountain Dew, which is the picture you saw from the Reddit. Whether this is, as far as the punishment goes, over, I'm not entirely sure. Because, to be honest, when it comes to the live format, these streams, punishments, are benefiting LOLCOW Live massively. It is growing in subscribers still, and it is getting a lot of viewership from this suffering. So I don't expect it to end anytime soon.